Okay, on today's episode of Let's Talk FGO, we're going to space. I can't really do the effect without, post-production.
What? Oh.
But, we said space with long words. So hi, we're going to talk about space, and also, we're going to definitely not Disney World. Please don't sue us, Disney Corporation. Cinderella's castle is definitely in the public domain, please. This will not be weird in 2 years. Hey, you know how I said I have everything open because my connection was being weird? I forgot show notes. Let me pull that up really quick. But while I'm doing that, and before he gets his intro a bit, I would like to remind everybody this episode is brought to you by our patrons like Adam Harbaugh, Comics, Zima, Heritage 10, Plus G, Carlos, Dragon Ferris, Jeremy Vasquez, Jonathan Sandoval, Legendary Boss Under, Liam Kessler, Regent Raptor, Rogue Robin, Star Wars, Shiny Peace, I'm Gunning Babs, 23, and Veering the Crow. Thank you for your support, everybody.
Thank you.
That I had up.
Actually, while I'm thinking about it, because I might need this. Yeah.
Yeah, he went for the...
Yeah, fun fact.
But there was a little bit of crispy clickiness.
Crisp. Yeah, so everyone, hope you're enjoying Fate Grand Order, aka the Belle of the Ball. And while we here at City Mega like to bring you the latest FGO-related news and memes, we will be talking about current and future events about the JP and EM version of the game, so anyone not wanting spoilers should check the bounty board.
Yep. Double check your bounty board. Gosh, we should be making more Borderlands jokes, shouldn't we?
Not really. This is one of those weird things. I realize I don't like Borderlands as much as I thought I did.
Interesting. We might talk about that on What's Up. I did see some, they released some trailers for some classes you can play in Tiny Tina's Borderlands, where you can be a berserker or a stabby-mancer, aka Knife Daddy. Yes, because Borderlands is self-aware, that is how the trailer goes. But that's for a different conversation. Please watch What's Up. It's great.
It's gonna be great.
I think he's gonna play Carrion today.
Tomorrow,
tonight, whatever your relevant time zone is.
Time and space!
There's a lot of Space Western jokes we could make, but we're gonna make them later. So, we're doing a show. Lucky is operating on critical levels of no sleep.
I am at... Oh god, let's see here. I woke up at 7 yesterday. I've stayed up until the entire time, so that's 24 hours. We have not reached of the other 12 hours. We're 2.5 from that. So 2.5 minus that is 9.5. What's 9.5 plus 24? 33? No.
Yeah.
33, yes. 33.5 hours.
Yeah. Because it would be 34 if it was 10.
Yes. I am no slep.
Yeah, you're no slep, which is why you could not figure that one out.
No.
Even though I am also bad at numbers, and I still was wait, just add 10 and take away 1. But yeah, so we're not gonna try to take forever on this show. We've got plenty to talk about. Lucky's got a monster, so he probably won't pass out in the middle of it. But
no, I'm pretty good about staying awake. It's just my mind-to-mouth edit function is going to be horrible.
Yes, I understand this. That's usually what happens when I get tired and loopy. Is I'm just like, brain what? Brain block? No brain block.
How? Who? Now it's gone.
That and certain complex functions, like if you want me to do advanced arithmetic, I'm just like, hold on. How many digits are in this number? I can't do that anymore. Too many numbers, not enough slots in brain. But we are going to go ahead and move on with our show. Let's check in with everybody's favorite Kohai, Mash.
Senpai, 起きてください.
It's time for Weekly F-Up Senpai, our regular segment for pro tips. I'm censoring myself because there are small children in my house. We've got company tonight. And I don't want to do what I usually do when I do this segment and yell out the F word at the top of my lungs.
Do you actually yell it at the top of your lungs?
Well, not at the top of my lungs, but I usually boister it up a little after the audio break. I don't know how loud it sounds in the final edit. I do normalize everything together, so hopefully our peaked audio doesn't blow up everybody's ears, but yeah. I don't think I could ever do the show, full-blown yelling, but that's mostly because I have to listen to myself.
Robin made it.
Yeah, people are scooching in even though it's too early. Okay, but our pro tip is, I just want to remind everybody, don't forget about your goddess scriptures. Enemies on the bounty hunts drop them. So you do need to actually buy those and complete those, and you will need your goddess scriptures, because otherwise you will not be able to beat the final boss. She will beat you instead. And, that's that. So, let's move swiftly on to the thing everybody wants to know about. Well, there were noise complaints about sound effects, which I am a little surprised, because they're normalized.
Was this in the Let's Talk, or was something else?
Yeah, I used a rerun sound effect, and people were like, that was loud. Okay. It didn't seem that loud at the time, but alright. Audio editing. But we're going to move to Records from the Throne, our regular achievement topic. And so we begin, everybody. Once again, it has been 0 days since Screaming Cowboy. One small step for man, one giant leap for wallet kind. I've acquired my Space Ishtar and have max leveled her. And it was on my last 10 roll. Last roll, best roll.
Yay!
I was a little worried. A little concernicus. Because after my 10 roll, I had 20 Saint Courts left, so I was like, it's very close to another roll. But it did work out. And for my troubles along the way, I did get a full set of CEs, NP4 Jane, and NP1 Valkyrie for my troubles. That was a shocker early on.
Surprise!
I was like, what is this gold Lancer? Yeah, I noticed that while some people were absolutely blown out on Space Ishtar, a lot of people had the problem with 4 stars and getting Jane specifically. Wanted is OP.
Yes, actually, before I get into mine, I actually did tried a little experiment in our Discord, and before the servers went live, I screamed to everyone I was doing a thing, and I actually made a thread for everyone to post their roles.
Yep.
And people did trickle in there, and there was a lot of posting and stuff, and I think it did divert away from the topic, so I think it was very good.
Yeah,
I only said it.
Mostly people were fairly orderly to shuffle in there, and even when people missed the thread, most of the images and the discussing of rolling was contained to the thread, which means you didn't really break up the conversation too much, which constant rolling posting tends to do.
Yeah.
So it was good. We had a lot of success with that. We should try more threads later for stuff.
Yeah, no, like, I've been experimenting with that because none of you can see it, but except people in the Crow's Nest and, Omega, but in our gaming group, we actually have a semi-permanent theme for Destiny Child because, like, most of the people in the Crow's Nest I've convinced to play Destiny Child with me, so we're like, okay, we're gonna do something so we can regulate this somewhere. And it seems to work fairly well. But,
yeah, so we might do, like, breaking out roles and other stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. So, with that, though, I will have to say I was not as fortunate as Omega. Because I did. Shame, Lucky, shame. I bought an 80-pack. I've got an 80-pack, and I spent all the quartz, all of it. I don't have a drop. Well, I take that back. I don't have enough for a 10 spin. I have tickets and stuff. But, I was, though, able to get a single Space Ishtar and a single Calamity Jane. One of each. A little weird. Usually my SR looks a little bit better than that, but
yeah.
No. Got fuck ton of CEs though. My CE luck is ridiculous as always.
Yeah, it's better than me. I only have one of the 5-star.
Yeah, I got like 3 of them.
I once again, Skip Gang was sassed heavily by many off read up 4 and 5-star CEs, as usual for me.
Mm-hmm.
And they weren't even crazy good ones, like more K-scopes.
But, after that, I emptied out my second archive of the 500 gold embers, and I was able to max level, Space Ishtar and Calamity Jane once I pulled out all the embers from the event shop. So I basically got them max level and 444. I don't know if they're going to go any further than that because I'm broke.
Well, if you do your bounty boards, you get a couple mil QP per one, so that should be some skills to get some levels. That's also true, yes. Lucky had already done his damage, and people were like, "No, Lucky, no!" It's like, too late, guys. Get a time machine. I max leveled my Space Ishtar recently. I'm working on Jane with, like, silver EXPs, and the lovely 5-star EXPs dropping this event. Thank you, Delightworks. So good. But as you'll see in a second when we get to Did You Finish Your Master Missions, I basically had to go into the Ember Mines anyway to do those, other than some of the farming quests, later. So, yeah, we worked on that. I'm working on Jane now. My Space Ishtar is 4-4-10 because I try to raise battery skills to 10 immediately, and it's very helpful, but I am currently hardcore stake blocked, let alone egg blocked. Egg. At least you get to punch a Lancer boy for like an egg or two.
I forgot that was a mob.
Yeah, he's just there. He's a kaiju.
It's like,
I don't know what these. By the way, I don't know what these kaiju comments are for. They just show up. Nobody talks about them. We'll talk about that more when we talk about the event. We'll probably do our first impressions. It's a very interesting time. But let's move on to our next regular segment. Did you finish your master missions? And why I referenced, by the way, why you may or may not need to go to the Ember Mines to do this, because your first 3 missions are defeat basically 15 of every class. It's Saber or Berserker, then Archer or Assassin, and then Archer Caster, or not Archer, Lancer Caster Rider. I don't know why I wrote Archer twice. I was copying and pasting this, I guess, because I didn't want to type it all out. But each of these comes with the qualification, not servants or bosses. Hey, guess what? You notice how all those guys wearing saber badges in story are servants? And also, I think even some of the non-Saber enemy mobs are servants because it's the servant universe. Yeah. So, you may have to do a little extra work to get some of these dailies done. It's the little things, guys. You also need to acquire 15 of any caliber of EXP via drops, and then 30, and then complete 10 quests. I'm pretty sure this was, as somebody pointed out in Nyasjar missions earlier, this was in our patron chat. This was technically still the pre-release time in JP. So these are all like your grinding embers dailies. We'll probably get more specific ones next week, or technically this weekend. But for the next week. You know what I mean. All right, let's save the thumbnail. I don't know why my saving of images was way the heck out in the middle of nowhere. What have I been downloading lately? Anyway, it's time for Skelegrams. Yeah. Which I should say, because it's very close to spook time.
Oh, spooky.
Our only main bit of news is JP Halloween 2021 is out. It's running from the 20th of October to the 3rd of November. Still got the same subtitle. And y'all need to join Liz Cinderella to retake Cinderella's castle. In no way are we in danger from the Disney Corporation.
Pretty sure Cinderella is public domain.
Cinderella is public domain. I don't know about that castle, though, now that it's in context. That might be a little Whatever, it's fine.
It's fine. Everything's
fine. Complete the... Wow. God, was I drunk when I wrote these earlier? I know I wasn't, but, like, geez, I have a lot of little typos that Google didn't catch.
Thanks, Google.
Maybe I was distracted. Anyway, you need to complete the event for your welfare writer, Liz Cinderella. Yep, right there.
Big dress.
And you can get her and your extra Liz NP copies in the shop. Extra copies of all the previous welfare Liz's NPs are in the shop at different currencies.
There's a lot in the shop from what I understand.
Yes, this event seems very big and dense. I think there's a triplicate point system, there's a point ladder, there's currency, there's the whole thing. So it's a big one. So it started the 20th, it goes to the 3rd, so it's only 2 weeks. So hopefully it's not rough or anything.
I mean, they busted out double fucking mob. I mean, they double the mob limit.
True. So there's hopefully some extra farming you can do. It's chunky. It's big.
Big.
But of course, as we usually do on these things, we have a banner. We have a brand new banner. We have new limited SSR foreigner, Jaques de Molay. Not the same one from Arcade.
Wild.
In case you were wondering.
It's wild.
And also a new permanent 4-star archer, Zenobia.
Queen of Syria.
Yes.
First Queen of Syria, actually. Empress, I should say.
So, yeah. I think there's some very interesting things there. They're doing some interesting things with these servants, like stylings and backstories. The core FGO version of Jacques de Molay is explicitly has the innocent monster effect. So her abilities and perceptions are warped by history, hence why she's super demonic and stuff. And if Lucky called this earlier, but if I believe certain translations in the wiki is to believe, that's a hard call out in Shub niggurath, by the way.
Yeah,
it's I think that was pretty obvious because there's talk of the goat god and that the demon that Jacques de Molay confessed to worshipping was Baphomet, the goat one. I do believe this is the same artist as our core tentacle team.
Which I find hilarious because I was actually doing some research on good old Shub, and actually one of Shub's professed mates is actually the Yogg.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. The other one could be Haster, but we have no Haster yet.
No. There's some illusions with Van Gogh, but we'll talk more about that when we actually get to the Scramble event. Van Gogh's really weird as a foreigner. But also, possibly because of maybe different popularities of mythos fiction over there, but when they write these foreigners, they are not afraid to occasionally reach back into the Wikipedia article list of great old ones and find some obscure shit.
Oh, yeah.
As you do. But style-wise, Zenobia is also interesting because some people have been like, yo, what's up with this design? Well, it's because the real-life Zenobia was beaten by the Romans, and you know what they do when they do that? You go on a triumph. Literally, they put you on a parade float and say, hey, look who we beat up. This is infamously why Cleopatra chose suicide, because she really didn't want to be paraded around in Rome like that.
It's not like they killed her afterwards. I think she just died in exile after that, though.
Yeah. They mention in her profile, some histories have it, is that she just retired back to the conquered Assyria and lived a happy life, or a quote-unquote happy life. So,
No,
Like-
actually, no. Like, no, trust me. As soon as I was like Zenobia, I went like research. It's
Yeah.
actually pretty wild.
The profile has some flexes there, but yeah, it's the actual history is that. But it's kind of the interesting thing because her design is like people have been like, hey, this is a little weird, and I'm like, yeah, kind of, but also there's a lot of commentary in her profile about how servants are at their quote unquote prime. So like this Zenobia is at her apex when she was fighting Rome, but was technically defeated because in her mind, kind of similar to how Penth kind of holds herself back a little. If she was the one from before then, she knows that she will lose to Rome. So as a servant, her potential exists in that moment of, but what if she could punch Rome? Which is basically her NP is just, I think it's called like Authentic Triumph, you know. It's a self-control NP. She basically just breaks her chains and it's like, actually, bonk. Well, the prime flexible depends on a lot of the thing. I don't think the artist thing does. You're just going to complain about tits or something, X.
Yeah, I know. Like, fuck, Ishtarin talks about this. She's eternally 14 because that's her prime.
Well, also that's really funny because people were like, wee woo, call the cops, and it's like, guys, it's a joke. Like, first of all, this whole event is full of jokes. We'll talk about it later.
Oh,
But
yeah.
there's a lot of in-joke references. But she's like, don't you know, servants stop aging in our prime. I ran away from home 10 years ago when I was 14. Therefore, I am 14. And I'm like, girl, that was 10 years ago. Also, later, they show you the sprites of what she looked like when she was 14 and ran away. She looks different. She has a different sprite. So I feel like everything is just a slightly confused meta joke.
It is.
Also, I don't know if it's sad, right? Like the idea about her output is that's her noble phantasm, is the authentic triumph, the unrealized dream.
Yeah, no. Also, fun fact, like doing some wikis, it's like it's apocryphal, but there are some theories that Zenobia was either distantly related to Cleopatra or was just the motherfucking Queen of Sheba.
That's another fun one. What if she has lines?
It
I
might.
should double check. I haven't seen anybody's lines. I know that Jacques de Molay has some lines about stuff, and apparently has a line about her arcade version, but that's... And I know this because it's been posted like 3 or 4 times in our spoiler channel, and I've had to trim a couple. Listen, people are excited. There's a new tentacle lady. Everything's exploding. It's very big. That would make sense for Spartacus.
Oh yeah, freedom fighter. Like, real life Zenobia wasn't like in the fucking trenches fighting. She was actually more of a intellectual and cultural leader.
Yes,
but no,
But she was very keen and prosperous. You'll see this later when we talk about her skills. I think she's got a very relevant kit. Also, funnily enough, unlike Boudica, not like anti-Roman, she does have a trait damage, but it's king.
Well, yeah, I don't think she was never really against Rome. I think she just disagreed with one of their policies. Like, no, fuck that.
And this was also because this was during the time of Augustus. This was primo Roman expansion.
Yeah, no. Because before that, she just ran around the Middle East and Egypt and was like, all right, this is mine now. I'll pay Rome, their dues, and we'll get along fabulously.
Render unto Caesar that which is Caesar's.
Yeah.
Also, yes, Robin has the best joke. Going for culture victory when your neighbor's going military. That's correct, yes.
Yes.
You're just minding your own business, trying to build a great culture, and then Rome is just vomiting out legionnaires, and you're like, this may be a problem.
Yeah.
Cleo and Raiko. Interesting. That makes sense. Also, I mean, both of them have great art designs, just full blown.
I think what they're trying to go for is they're trying to not for Boudica, because I was wondering if they're gonna aim more on the warrior queen kind of trope that they have going on there, because Cleo kind of has it, Raiko definitely. Then you got Boudica and other things, but I don't know. I haven't actually looked at any of the lines recently. I haven't seen them posted, so I'm just like meh. But yeah, I will say this. Their clothing designs for, desert dwelling servants is a little weird to me. Just a little. Usually don't want to expose all that skin to the sun. It's bad.
Yeah, that's an art thing where you're like, oh, it's hot. Everybody can be, skimpy. Though, to be fair, in her second ascension, she's actually got, giant flaming crossbows next to her, so that might be a little warm. Who knows? Because she's an archer, with her giant sword and chains. She does have floating, friggin' fin funnel crossbows, though, so she does shoot, at least.
She calls us Augustus. Interesting. good and bad.
Yeah, Augustus was not his original name, so that could be... It's kind of like Caesar, and Kaiser. Like, a lot of them took the Caesar name even though they weren't directly related to Gaius Julius Caesar.
Oh, maybe she just uses that name to refer to someone as a king or something.
Yeah, because that is basically where the trope Augustus came from. Well, like, his name title was just like, he's the August one. It's really important. Also, what thing with Swan Song acts, I believe Fate has been very clear, you just ignore me whenever I say this, that they are specifically recalling certain performances, like adaptations of The Journey to the West, where Swan Song was a woman. Like, that's not a joke thing, they have a different cultural touchstone. What adaptations of Journey to the West have you watched? Is it just Dragon Ball? Actually, wait. In Dragon Ball also, isn't Bulma fulfilling the Sanzo role?
Yes.
Yeah. That's not that weird. They do that all the time. I mean, I will, just because it's not a mock thing. It's just, if there's boobs involved, you're just like, man, why is this here?
You find it a little weird that people seem to be so concerned about exposed flesh. I don't get it. I genuinely don't.
I think people are like, what's going on with Zenobia's design? Mostly from her Final Ascension.
Good butt.
Yes. And the fact that her art style definitely very deliberately plays up the chains. Like, in her first two, her legs are literally chained together. And some people are like, what's the imagery here? And I'm like, you know what the freaking imagery is.
It's historical.
Yeah. It's kind of the point is she's chained and then she can break these cuffs.
Mm-hmm.
I think she is the first servant I've seen with a noble phantasm that is literally called a self-control type.
I mean, be biased. Have your opinion, Zach. Just remember, everyone's going to have their own opinion as well.
And yes, it's true. There's definitely there's a lot of little details in Jaques de Molay, especially that last ascension. It's very dense.
I haven't really taken a lot of time to actually sit down and go over the designs. Like I said, I've been sick and busy and trying not to pass out.
Well, here, just stare into the abyss, Lucky.
Yes! I love it.
I just play the Hypnotoad noise.
I don't know if I'll be able to MP5 or rad about. I'm dead. If it is turns out to be actual Shub, I'm going for it.
I think that is the idea. Yeah, like I said, literally on the wiki it says AKA Shub niggurath, and I'm like, are you just assuming it, or is this facts? This facts is this?
That's the thing. Like I said, I can't assume anything until we maybe get like a couple weeks down the road and everyone has go over translations with a fine tooth comb and then made their and placed their bets, I should say.
Actress Shiki Aoki. I recognize none of these roles. Interesting. Has not been in the business super long.
Well, she's about to be super fucking popular, I bet. Danger.
Technically,
I saw what you did. I saw what you did, Regura. You mad lad.
Also, actually, technically, we don't want to misspeak. It says here on the Wikipedia that in 2020, Shiki Aoki came out as a transgender man after being identifying as non-binary.
Excuse me.
Which, hey, shout out to FGO. Because I know Japan's kind of conservative about that kind of stuff.
Go for it. Well, I mean, it's not that weird. They, well, not about that, but, but like I said, if the voice fits, they cast it.
True.
I mean, remember, Goku's, is an old lady screaming into a mic.
It's true. They kept that VA for all these years, and also for Gohan, even though they probably should have done something slightly different, but whatever. Masuko Dozawa is still killing it.
So, guys can voice girls, and girls can voice guys. It's all fine. It's all good. They are a guy. I just gotta remember that. See, that's the thing about those things. I usually don't care whether they identify. It's just usually a matter of me trying to remember what the fuck they are.
Yes.
It's like, I still put my foot in my mouth occasionally in our Discord with some people.
Yes.
Damn it.
Well, it's hard when you're just staring at internet names all the time that are just, like, names. You gotta remember context and stuff. And that's very hard when currently you're at negative sleep.
I am at negative sleep.
The slip clock is low.
I'm gonna drink some more.
There is a second banner, technically. We discussed these guys' themes a little. They've rolled out a second banner already. This is, it's funny. It's basically like how Summer does stuff. Banner 2 is a male banner. It's Napoleon, Dion, and a Bedivere raid-up, if you're interested in that. He is story-locked. Both get all 3 CEs, so you're not missing out. If, for instance, you are not interested in these banners, or like maybe you want to skip Jacques de Molay and you're like, Zenobia's permanent, you can go for that stuff.
She permanent?
Yes. She's
okay.
Permanent. She will be permanently available after this banner ends.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
Yeah.
Because
the usual qualifier. Everything I've seen says that she is permanent afterward. Jacques de Molay is limited, but that's because she's a foreigner, duh.
Well, no, I do remember there was a bit of consternation earlier, people not trying to figure out if she was story locked, permanent, or limited, because apparently the wording to some people was not the clearest, so I wasn't sure.
Yes, the translation, which is still used in FGO NA as well, is this character will be added to the story banner after this raid up ends or at a later date. It's usually in bright red text, but the factor is usually they are not available in story right away. Therefore, you have to wonder, hey, what does that mean? It's the thing is they say that because story is the whatchamacallit, the generic banner, so that's what they say. This character will be in story banner later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the translation means, though, that they will be permanently available. I think if they were actually story locked, it would say this character is available even if you have not completed blah blah blah. Afterwards, they will only be available in story banner if you have completed story blah blah blah. I believe is how it's usually parsed.
Okay.
But yeah, that's mostly the new stuff.
I do want them both.
Yeah, this is a pretty cool Halloween. I think we're both gonna be, dead ass broke after summer and stuff. But there's also like a month to recover.
Yeah, I know. I like having a month to recover, and like I said, I just got a raise at work. So it's all like my wallet will be primed. I will be trying. Who knows? Maybe I'll get super fucking. I'm on fire. Maybe I'll get super lucky.
So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with the haps.
The haps and the hips and the hops. Now my cat's on fire. Good job.
And if you are curious about these servants, we'll be talking about them later after the mailbag break. I have done a new servant breakdown.
That's all. Good times.
We also have Saber Wars 2 first impression scheduled, and so you didn't get that 5-star. We may or may not leave one of those off if things get too long, but mailbag isn't, hellacious today. How long have we been going? 30 minutes? Not that bad. Well, I mean, it's kind of crazy considering it was one news item, but it is a brand new Halloween with brand new servants, so not that weird.
Yeah. We got a little into the weeds there. Just a wee bit.
I kind of figured we would, It's the only news item to talk about, and it is kind of interesting and important. New servants coming out, lots of little details, stuff to think about, people talking, people saying things.
People listening, people not listening. There's a lot of not
still
listening.
Can't understand moon runes and still try to.
Alrighty. Well, Donikaku, it is time for this week's Let's Talk FGO mailbag, the segment where we read what you have to say and comment accordingly. This week we have 24 comments, and we're going to try and plow through them all, at least until Omega says, alright, I'm fucking done. Lucky's like fucking...
Refresh. There we go, 24.
Lucky is 34 hours no sleep. I give no fucks. I go as long as Lucky needs to go.
Okay. But will you go even though this first question has 3 paragraphs in it?
Why?
I just open it up and I'm just like, blarg.
Why? Okay. What? Hang on. I need to.
Lucky needs to screen his calls really quick.
Hang on here.
By the way, that Y made a great sound shape. It starts narrow and then it gets big with the low dBs. It's great.
Okay. So from what I understand, this is all about their roles. And I don't necessarily want to dissuade people from talking about their roles, but you need such a high word count. Do you? I'll be nice to you and I'll read this out, but I have to speed read this.
Literally there's actually, I joke, there's actually quite a lot of paragraphs in here, just some of them are short. There are a lot of line breaks.
Alright, here we go. Cracking knucks, I'm gonna crack him right into the mic. If you don't like cracking knuckles, cover your ears now. Alright.
I picked up.
Alright, so here we go. So this first one comes from He Who Sees Through the Lies of the Court Savers. Hey, Lucimon Lucky and Ophiniumon Omega. I hope you're well and on life support after Space Star. Seriously, though, it feels like a lot of people got pretty decent roles on their roles. I have had a weird week when it comes to this games, and I'm quite grateful for the result. It has given me some moments where I found it is truly hard to gauge my feelings in this. Due to having poor inputs with the role, I believe someone can sympathize. I haven't really saved my post-summer opting to spend on Raiko banners. I did get Cinderella, and I had a grand total of 126 cords and 15 tickets for this banner. I resent myself not getting her, and anything at this point would be a bonus. Well, my first 5 tickets, I get a bit of lag, and it shows myself to be a caster. Never in 1,000 years do I expect to get spec by Tamano no Mai. She's I've wanted for some time, who I earmarked to be the one I get via my first free SSR ticket. I'm ecstatic, but there is, of course, the tiniest tinge of sadness. It could have been a spacious star. Well, for my actual 11 Saint Corn shot, another rainbow turns to be an archer. It's Napoleon. Again, I don't have him, and I love that they're rolling, but he's not the one I want right now. Same role also featured Tomei Gozen over Calamity Jane, which is the icing on the lemon sorbet. I'm really happy that how I got in 100 Corns. It's absolutely bonkers, but a part of me is still down because one of these could have been a spacious star. Playing the event did not help because it is actually an amazing job of making you adore Ishtarin and Ashtart, which is my only great with the event. The name, seriously, not a Starte. Well, fuck you. The fuck you was Lucky saying fuck you to this person, by the way. On the third day of the event, i.e. Wednesday night, so that's Thursday morning at 1 a.m. in the middle of the night. Why did you have to go to so much detail on telling me the fucking time?
My dude, brevity is the soul of wit. I don't want to dob on this person too much, but I chuckled earlier because even patron chat's getting a little heckly. Not like heavy, but a little bit.
I loaded up my cart and I got the 25 USD pack, which is all I could afford to spend without putting myself in trouble, and I got loading, considering I had all the CEs at 50% chance I was getting spaceship turn. She came out on the first card, no sparks, no lag, nothing. She's here, she's level 90, 10, 610. I think I'm never rolling for a servant when it isn't past midnight ever again. So Masashi, Season 9, Spaceship Star all came home this time. If you rated all the way here, I thank you, and I want to ask, how's your rolling been this year? All on point, weird, gravitating, or just ... Best of luck for your future rolls, and I hope your wallets are ready for being on life support in 2023. Morgan, Queen Sky, Summer Commons, Zenobia, and Vitra. One after the other. Yikes.
Hey,
I feel like
two of those you named are permanent. We don't listen. I just got NP1 Valkyrie. I'm fine. I'll cruise control on those last two, buddy.
P.S. Do you prefer YouTube memberships or Patreon? Just curious. Cheers and happy Halloween.
Well, I think we can probably answer that P.S. first. In that it really doesn't matter. Like, support us however you want to support us. It's just depends on what you want to get out of it. You know, at Patreon for just $1 a month or about $10 a year. It's a little over. There's rounding involved percentages. You can get access to the audio, right? So you can listen to this show in audio format. You can download them. This is all USD also, of course. Patreon does some conversion and stuff, but, you know, you may want to double check what your region and your market is. You also get access to the Patreon channel on our Discord, and most of our posts that are Patreon only. You know, if you want to go up that to $5, you get access to certain video releases early. You know, usually you get, like, the podcast videos before they go live for YouTube later. You can get access to, like, you get progression a day early, stuff like that as well. Get access to Wanteds early, and you can vote in our topic polls. And then higher levels, you know, live show listening, on-air shoutouts, all that stuff. With membership, it's, I believe, $199 right now, and that gives you access to membership badges and emotes wherever such things are sold, and special, like, shout-out messages in our live chats and stuff like that. So we don't, currently, because we don't have a lot of membership, we don't do a lot of stuff with, like, members-only posts or videos or anything. If people are really interested in our YouTube memberships, we may plug that a little bit more, but for now, it's really, like, on how you want to support us. What works for you.
Yeah!
For that other chunk of text you said, rolling's rolling.
Rolling's rolling. I bust up my wallet constantly.
I've had some weird ones, both good and bad. I've had some SSRs I wanted to just casually go to the mat for, and it was easy. I've had some SRs who, like, stole my wallet and ran away with it.
How dare.
I think I rolled at Rin-Face O'Clock. The Mandalorian theme blared with triumphant horns. Afterward, I screamed like a cowboy. It was 4 a.m. for me. I always recommend you roll when your mana is at its peak. But other than that, it's like, yeah, rolling's rolling. You guys probably remember better my rolling experiences because I told you in podcast format, if you remember at all. Let's keep going.
Keep going. Like I said, Lucky rolls until he either gets what he wants or he doesn't get what he wants. And that's it.
Yeah.
Usually involves big credit card statements. Big. But we're going to move on. Because we got shit to do.
Yep. I got four servants to talk about later.
So, thank you very much for that. This one comes from Sincho is Love, Sincho is Life. I've actually been watching a lot of Sincho clips recently. Ooh. Just because. Just because people do little animated, I'm like, yes, I need this in my life. This is good. I'm healed. I hope you're both well. JP looks wine with a new banner, and I wholeheartedly welcome the return of Welfare, Ellie, and Redrop. I do too. Like I said, everyone you have seen the new Redrop. It's the middle one. It is that plump Cleo. It is great. Just
with is it Babanshi in the background?
Yeah, it's a Morgan and Babanshi.
Yeah, they just chill it in the back.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. But unfortunately, we're going to keep going, so thank you much for that. We move on to Space Chaos Spirit, Cyrus 21. They say, hey guys, I haven't written in a while, real life and the lie getting in the way. My question to you is this, do y'all think we'll get a Saber Wars 3? I personally want to see more of the Servant universe, hopefully around the time of MHXX. My records from the throne, I got an MP2 Calamity Jane, 3 of the 4-star event CEs, and Anastasia NP1. Well, congrats to you, my dude. You got some good stuff there. As for your question, I mean, yeah, like, as I'm watching Saber Wars go on right now, I am actually pleasantly surprised by how much I actually enjoy this event. Maybe not so much the grinding for the Artorium, but everything else is great.
Yeah, the fact that you need a vanilla saber, which Lucky has, but probably won't slot in to get the Ultron bonus. Still don't got one of those, FGO.
I mean, if you put the Bestia del Sol, that also gives it to you, too, but that's a CE slot.
That's a CE. I mean, I'm using that one because it's party, but cost is also a nightmare for this event.
Yeah, it is.
Everybody is so expensive. Because guess what? I really want to use my Space Ishtar, who's level 90 with her big damage bonus, and I have a level 100 Ishtar. My Space Ishtar would be level 100 too, but my Calamity Jane's not leveled, and she's also a bonus servant. And Grailing Servants is expensive for EXP, guys, okay?
So real talk, I did not understand how useful actually Calamity Jane is. Holy shit. She's great. I love her.
I think most people glazed over because of her third skill. It's just like, your brain just shuts down, but
I love her third skill.
I know, but it's very wordy.
I guess that's true.
There's a lot of stuff going on there that people had to translate in the past, so...
I guess that's true. Yeah, no, just get 50 stars, you're good. I mean, just pair her with Atalanta. Y'all be fine. You'll be fucking fine.
Also, or, if you're, depending on your team comp, just have Jack have a go. Just give Jack some quick cards. Lancelot, yeah. No, I have easily maxed out on stars with Jack, yeah. Pocket Mozart, that's also another one. He just... Blurp.
That's great. But
no, she's great. Working on my levels.
Yeah, no, but like I said, I've enjoyed Saber Wars 2, way more than I enjoyed Saber Wars 1.
Well, I think it's because they actually explore the servant universe. This is the first time we've gotten real details besides just April Fool's jokes and MHX profiles, And I guess MHXA's trial quest, which was very long and drawn out, but was also slightly confusing, because we were possessing a robot or something. This is like an actual, plot with stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
That references things that I understand.
Aha.
So I would not be shocked if there's a third season of this. And by the way, this is an actual joke. They talk about how time in the servant universe progresses in seasons. Double X is from a future season. So that would be cool. I've also been greatly enjoying this event. We'll talk about this a little bit first impressions. The startup is a little chunky. You got a lot of expo to get through before you actually can start doing the thing, which is always slays me at 4 o'clock in the morning when the event starts. And I'm just like, I'd really like to just get my new Mystic code now so I can go farm XP for it and my new Space Ishtar. Okay, we're gonna be here a little bit. All right, it's fine. I don't need sleep.
Listen, I like seeing Limusin. I like seeing fucking Astar suffer from Lima syndrome. It was great.
Yeah.
But with that though, we should move on. So thank you very much for that. The second one comes from Googly God, who says, busy week with my niece's birthday and all things I have to get for it. As for my question, is there a Star Wars role that the servant has not yet covered? And if also, what servant do you think could play that role?
No, there's probably a bunch.
I mean, I guess, right now we got...
I mean, Munenori is both the Emperor and also Darth Maul, because she's got the head thing.
Yeah. Munenori is Vader.
Mm-hmm. But also, I think in XA's, in X-Echen's, wasn't, Lancelot with helmet also Darth Vader? Somebody else was Darth Vader.
Anyone can be Darth Vader.
Anybody with a dark helmet can be Darth Vader. Literally.
Let's see,
I think that, Space Ishtar is trying to do a little bit of the Han Solo, but also she's just a bounty hunter in space, so she's basically Zero Suit Samus. And also, 5 different other ones. I guess there's not really a Chewbacca. If Kat was an ally, she could fill the Chewie role.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of rah. Listen, there's plenty of roles you could do that fit for people.
I guess we should probably have, some sort of Obi-Wan role, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, I think technically that's Professor Tokiomi, but instead of being a ghost, he's video messages. He's kind of doing that thing. He even shows up to talk to us about missions. Which, by the way, there was a bug that was patched. His subtitles weren't in when this event first launched.
Oh, they just didn't care.
Yeah. No, I think it was just there was a lot of shit to do. There was an error there was a spelling error in one of Ishtar's Space Ishtar's skills as well that got fixed. I think it said terms, not turns, or something. Which several people were shocked. Oh, you these guys do these manually? Probably. It's probably all cells in a spreadsheet. But yeah, I mean, the Star Wars is a vast universe with many, many roles. I'm sure they have more gaps to fill. What servants would be good for that? I don't know.
Yeah. So with that, though, we're gonna keep going.
No. We're Luke in this situation. We're the rando hero, kind of. We're at least playing the everyman role. I mean, you could argue we're the princess, but also not because we extract ourselves.
I say we extract ourselves. It was just Istarine being a fucking gremlin with technology.
Yeah.
Now we're totally the princess.
Actually, we're probably the droids, because we're first of all in.
Oh, we're the MacGuffin.
Yeah, in Double X's story, we were the Squeaky, the evil droid anyway, the dark astromech. So we're like 3PO now. We just wander around in the desert, and then we got picked up by our real heroes.
We gave him curry.
But also, like, it's weird, because, like, does that mean that MHX is our Obi-Wan? Because she would, like, found us first and is all experienced and stuff? She does go outside to yell at Lancelot. Yes, I did explicitly bring both support MHX and my own MHX so I could do that gag. It's great. Hold on, I'm going to go outside and yell at him. But there are also lots of just generic space western jokes, like the space nomads on their space cows, and Altera is leading them. The cat curse. Queens, the space academy for nice young ladies, is just hell. It's awful.
It's all a reference for available particles, and I was concerned.
Oh, the list of power sources in the universe was a big like, that is definitely the Joseph Joestar gif. I'm like, hold on, you said a lot of stuff there. I don't think I'm okay with that. You can't just throw out those names. But yeah, so I don't know if there's a lot of other context we can throw on that question, though.
So with that, we are going to move on. So this next one comes from Cat Girl and Bunny Girl committed the most lewd act possible, hand-holding in public. Gasp. I can't even. I was going to say something else, but I can't because I can't put the words together now. It's going to be something akin to my virgin ears or eyes or whatever the fuck I am intaking this information with. My face. My face holes. My virgin face holes. That sounds even worse.
I'm going to leave that one alone.
Good job, love. Good job. You're great at this. Tonikaku, they say, hey guys, just one question this week. What impulse game did you ever bought you didn't anything know about but loved it when you played it? Axe, you think everything's old when you don't come up with it yourself. Stop it. But let's see here. Games that I didn't know anything about but picked up anyway. I usually don't go into games like super fucking blind. Usually I know what I want to do, but usually I think probably the best example for a game like that was 13 Sentinels. The only thing I knew about it was Vanillaware, and that was it. I'm like, I'm down.
Yeah, that was definitely I just saw the first trailers that was like, hello, Vanillaware and Atlas bring you a giant robot game, and I'm like, I'm there. I'm in.
You know, I picked it up and I was all like, I was not expecting this, but holy fucking shit.
I played Grim Grimoire once upon a time. That was not, by the way, a totally impulse buy. Like, that was a random wiki walk, and it was like, hey, this game is like this, and it does this, and I'm like, that sounds neat. I think, honestly, I almost feel like, especially now that we're older and have to be more fiscally responsible and stuff, you know, that kind of era of just rando buys is behind. Like, occasionally I'll see a trailer for something and just go, I know nothing about this game other than this trailer, and this looks sick. Like, Aether Rising looks like that, right? Where it's just like, oh, this art style is pretty cool. Oh, this is a classic JRPG? I like this. Right? Or Voice of Cards was just like, hello, I'm Yoko Taro. Look at my cards. I'm like, I'm looking at your cards, bro. You know?
Also, like, nowadays, like, we also, like, a lot of times we have, like, small demos. We have usually a lot of... They usually put out
a lot easier to access.
We have a lot more, like, ways to get our hands on what the product is before we actually make a purchase.
And honestly, I think that's the one that's a good thing, but also I think that's because the market is so dense now, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, there's so many options. You have to figure out how to hook your consumers so that you actually get them in there. I think the classic days for, like, just randomly buying stuff was when you would go down to your local GameStop and you would, like, browse pre-owned games and you'd look for cool covers.
Well, me, like, I was a little more sophisticated than that because I subscribed to, like, Game Informer magazine. So they would have, like, this was the back in there, like, before everything went fucking digital, you know, every month I get my magazine, they'd be like, hey, this game coming out here, we're going to talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think I ever strung enough together for subscriptions. I was always bad about saving money for that, but, like, I've flicked through Nintendo Power and some, like, EGM stuff in my day.
Yeah. So, like, that was, like, mine, like, back in the day, but then I was just like, yeah, no, cool, video games.
I mean, I would do some impulse buys occasionally because, back in the day, you don't get left home alone when you're small until you get a little bit older. Absolutely, go out for grocery shopping. It's like, okay, where are you going to be so I can find you later? Oh, I'm just going to hang out in the electronics department of Walmart and just look at the glass cases.
I'm not going to look at the glass cases. I'm going to go pick up that demo control. I'm going to play whatever they got on tap.
Oh yeah, that's another good one. You play random demos, you search the cases. Ooh, do they have something new? Cool. Ooh, they've got this. That's when the real impulse buy days. Unfortunately, I don't really remember like what those games were at impulse buys. Like nowadays, it's I don't know if it's a random impulse. It's more just like you're looking around and you're like, oh, that looks neat. Like usually, I like randomly find a game on Steam and I like throw it on my Steam wish list, and then Gabe Newell comes to my house and steals my wallet. And then I end up with that game and I play it. But, like, that's still, like, decently informed. I see the game advertised, I look at it, I put it on my wish list, and then I'm like, that seems neat. We like to be informed consumers these days. But yeah, no, I absolutely remember back in the day when to look at new game releases, you had to be, like, following Game Informer or, like, literally going to stores and checking, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to now when stuff like Twitter exists where you can just, or YouTube. God, since in like the month or so I've been subbed to PlayStation's official network, I've realized so many more game releases, which is both good and bad.
No, like, man, that's the thing. Like, we are just so much more connected now than we are today. Is that it's just you have to honestly kind of make an honest effort not to like find out information about things.
Now that I know that Lucky has been watching Sencho clips, I'm gonna retweet more Sencho.
Hey,
that random people are throwing at me. Speaking of Twitter goblins. My Twitter goblins know who they are.
So, with that, though, I think we're going to move on. So, 13 Sentinels was definitely recent, and Lucky just did a look over at a shelf of old games. One that I'm probably going to say that caught me off guard I didn't know I loved so much, Dark Cloud. I don't know why I got Dark Cloud when I did. I was just young and wanting PS2 games. I saw Dark Cloud, I was like, hey, check out this anime boy. I'll buy this. And I'm like, oh my god, I get to dungeon delve, and I get to build towns. What? It was great. I never beat it though because I suck at video games. I still suck at video games.
I'd have to like double check my shelves. My video games and DVDs and stuff are shelved in my closet, which is too far away for me to read with my eyes currently. I definitely had some stuff like that. Like I said, technically, I don't think it was like a full impulse buy, but like I scooped up like I said, Grim Grimoire when it was just like I read about it. I'm like, oh, this is like a not Harry Potter like RTS JRPG. That seems cool. This art style is great. Thank you, Vanillaware. Being great.
You're great, Vanillaware. So we should move on. Thank you very much. This next one comes from 50% NP skill good Civ. 20% skill sad Civ. Question, so did you buy Detective Foams, and will you have enough to insta-buy Chaldea dinner time? No and no.
Yes, I have a full Foams. Probably not. Does that come out soon? I think I got like a 1k mana prisms. No, I have not recovered from buying up Detective Foams. Detective Foams is cool, though. You cutie.
Like, I've been actually working on upgrading my second archive space. Because that's where I like to stuff, extra CEs and my embers.
Yeah, I've bought a few of those in my day.
But, no, I'll probably stretch. Like I said, I'm probably going to be spending more on rolls here coming up. So I'll try to get my stacks up. Actually, what am I at? No, I'm in the middle of the battle. I can't even fucking check. Good job. Punch that boar. But, unfortunately with that means we're just gonna have to move on, so thank you very much. This next one comes from Dave, Lord Arc Francea. I don't know how that works. They say, do you guys use your extra classes a lot? I usually end up using whoever has the class advantage most of the time. I mean, yes, because Alter Egos has class advantage against, several. And I'm just like, yes, KP, slap the shit out of them. Just do it, girl.
Space head pats. Also, yeah, no, I mean, I use my extra classes pretty frequently. Hey, are there berserkers? Foreigners. Hey, are there cavalry classes? Alter Egos. Hell, I'll even use, right now I'm using my Avenger a lot because she's got plus 100% damage bonus anyway. Thanks, event. But no, I use my extra classes fairly frequently. Jolter was my super big main DPS for a long time for bosses. Before that, Jean Vanilla was my stall strategizer. I've used my extra classes a decent. Jean was my first, regular Jean was my first Von 10 servant, guys. Letting you know how much I went back to the old, your motherfucking life ends 30 turns from now.
Good times.
I'm gonna go pop up my window soon. It's a little warm in here.
Oh, mine's been open. I am literally
Windows, it is definitely not 81 degrees and sunny right now, because it's 8:30 at night in October. It is dark out. I'm going to need you to update that. Thank you. It's a little my weather little widget is usually pretty good, but sometimes it's sluggish. Like when I turn it on in the morning, it usually remembers last night's temperatures for a little bit, and clearly it hasn't adjusted for the fact that the sun has gone down. All right, let's soldier on.
By the way, my window is open because I run a lot of electronics in my room, and my room heats the fuck up.
Yeah, I have that problem as well. It's very warm, and basted in the soft radiation of your monitors.
Mm-hmm. So, this next one comes from alias Late Zed, just Late Zed.
I got that late.
Yeah, no, there's some people who literally did it, like, you know, just as the show aired.
There's a couple patrons who, like, don't even submit until I tell them we're about to do the show. The ultimate danger move.
Yeah, Robin, that's cray. Who would do such a thing? The animals.
No. What do that thing?
What do that thing? That's cray. But they say, Records from the Throne, I got the new 5-star in JP and a single YOLO roll. Finally protected Anastasia Summers, and Nobukatu Smile as well. Comment, honestly, I think I'm gonna put my own lucky rolls in the section of these. That way you two know if I'm gonna brag or update how slowly it takes me something, and not freeing up comments with just well wishes. And on that note, I hope you two have a great week, and have a great week for the rest of this week and next week. That's a lot of week. Also, it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna read it read it regardless. If you write it, I'm either gonna read it or I'm not gonna read it. I think I was trying to make a point there, but I fucking lost it in the weeds. So whatever, we're gonna keep going. This next one comes from Ias, the one with the dead wallet due to IRL stuff. Yo guys, guess you've been enjoying the SW2 story like I have. On the note of things on the JP server, can we all agree that Cinderella Eliza is absolutely adorable when she is yelling at the doors for throwing her sleeping body at the
opponent?
I'm giving an opponent during one of her attack animations of I have any grails left in 2 years after I get my Mochizuki Chiyome from level 100 to 120. I'll try to get Cinderella Eliza to level 90 regardless of cash. Can we just call her Cinderella Ellie?
Cinderella?
Or Cinderella? What's the official nickname for Cinderella Liz? Do we have one?
I don't think anybody's gone there yet. We know that she's Elizabeth Bathory parentheses Cinderella.
Let's just call her Cinderella.
Or just Cindy Ellie.
Listen, Liz is chanting a lot of fairy tale. Cinderella.
Yeah, she's hijacking a lot of fairy tales. She has several, it's on her skills.
Liz, Cinderella. I like Cinderella. Lucky puts his official stamp of approval on Cinderella. Spread that news nationwide.
That said, to the question about some of that stuff.
They also had a little bit more. P.S. I'm happy at least you got Ishtar to MP1 from our rolls, but it probably will try to MP2 come to re1 or the 5th anniversary GSSR. Sincerely, I.S. the one who rolled a double SSR Spook 11 roll and shouted at the Gotchin for the troll. Me without my red marker though, Jesus.
Grandma got a little goofus there. Actually, no, I have not, because I haven't seen any of Liz's generic animations. I've just seen her NP animation, where she gets mad at her magic mirror and kicks the enemy through it.
So thank you for that. This next one comes from a fellow empty wallet owner. They say, I hope your guys' budget sheet is as big as some of us. You guys can ignore my question if it's too spoilery. Have a great day. See you guys in the imaginary wallet space. Question. As the advent of another Lovecraftian entity emerges, as someone who has an experience in the lore of it, who is Shub niggurath? It's niggurath. There's an H in there. Adversary/rival. Short answer, doesn't really have one. I guess the best answer, her adversary would be you, the protagonist of whatever story. Or not even that, because sometimes she might not even actually fucking exist. Some people might just think she exists. It's weird. Lovecraftian shit is weird, okay? It really is.
Yeah. There's some back and forth, there's some works and stuff, but it's, technically, Derelith stuck a lot of, weird oppositional good/evil stuff into the mythos that wasn't there. HBL was just yo, the ineffable.
Actually, fun fact, Shub was actually technically on the side of good. She's, if I remember correctly, she's kind of a dark fertility goddess of some sort.
Yeah, she is an outer god, which is not a great old one, and is not an elder god. Yeah. The outer gods are usually the most, neutral and ineffable. Mm-hmm. That includes Big Az, as a thought. Gnarly, technically. Zulcha.
Yeah.
Yogg. Which
Yogg.
a lot of these entities just exist. Yeah, I'll quote Yogg Sothoth, which is a song by the Darkest of the Hillside Thickets, which is just they chant Yogg Sothoth in increasingly louder and more desperate voices with a heavy metal beat. I love it. Spoilers for What's Up. I've realized that I need to commit myself to actually buying all of the Darkest of the Hillside Thickets discography in real life, because I've watched them mostly online.
Yeah, if Shub, if Jax actually offers you a glass of milk, don't drink it. Don't.
Yes.
Don't
drink mother's milk. That's a weird cult thing.
Nope.
And don't go into the woods. But no, I do believe that Shub Niggurath, as Lucky said, does not have any direct antagonistic forces. It's not like how in some later they're like, oh, Cthulhu and Hester don't get along. They fight each other. Why? One of them is water and one of them is air, I guess. So, yeah.
Gonna post it. I'm gonna fucking post it if I have it. Where is it?
Also, Shub Niggurath is the name of several bands. Yep.
I was literally watching this like a couple of nights ago when I was sick, just because it's so dumb. That's why I love it. But no, Shub, kind of like I said, she's kind of a dark fertility goddess. There's some syncretism with how to pronounce it, Kybel and whatnot. That's whatever. Kybel, Kybeli,
Kibeli or Sibylle?
I don't know because it's CY. It's CY.
I think in Persona 3 it was pronounced Sibylle, but there's a lot more hard C's than soft C's in the world, I think. So I've always heard it Sibylle.
Oh, Sibylle, yeah.
I don't know if that's correct, because,
Yeah. So, yes, appreciate Pochi.
Mm-hmm. That's, by the way, on the official H.P. Lovecraft wiki, the Elder Sister-like one is one of the largest paragraphs in other appearances.
Pochi, I'm really glad that you're improving your English. I only watch your streams on occasion, but I'm happy to see you doing so well. Feel better, though. But, I think that's enough on that. Unfortunately,
Niggurath was the final boss of the original Quake.
Yep.
In case you didn't
It was
know.
weird. It was weird.
That was a
weird.
very popular thing in, like, I want to say 90s into the 2000s, was just... It's before Cthulhu Mythos went mainstream, basically. It was very common to take them because they're in the public domain and, like, squeak them in as, like, final bosses and extra stuff references. Now it's, like, a whole thing.
That was Shub, by the way. Just blah.
Good old 1996 graphics.
That sounds like it's weird.
It's not my preferred
Listen,
image.
No. Listen, I prefer Pochi, but I do prefer a little feminism, a little femininity in my dark fertility goddesses. You know. But I'm weird. I'm just weird like that, okay?
I mean, I just go for one of the classic old-ass depictions.
Oh, the one with just the giant black branches and
Yeah, the truly ineffable, the black goat of the woods with 1,000 young, where you see the dark young in the woods. They look like trees.
Yeah.
I made you guys fight one of those once, kind of, in a Dresden Files RPG.
Oh, yeah, that was right.
You guys fought a tree guy who's out there murdering.
See, I'm gonna go beyond the D&D bard, and I'm gonna be all like, yes, I would like to seduce the Elder God. The Outer God.
Roll charisma, natural 20.
Honestly,
that is some CG on that dark young.
It's bad, but at the same time, it's literally one of the most probably accurate depictions that you can see.
I mean, I think that the scale is a little off. I don't think they're that huge because they can look like trees, but
yeah,
it's definitely in the right vein. It's got the 3 cloven hooves and all that stuff.
Listen,
I mean,
lucky as
then as your bard, you just multi-class to Old One Warlock or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I do.
It's already a thing. And there's a couple of other weird stuff. Bards are fun. I want to play that new Spirit Bard they did in the Ravenloft thing. Just hang out with tarot cards and eat them at people and be like, ghosts! Anyway, we are in the weeds. We are in the groups now.
Sorry.
Listen, this person asked us about H.P. Lovecraft stuff. As I stare at my complete H.P. Lovecraft on the shelf.
I'm sorry, you asked me about Shub, so...
Yeah.
That's my thing.
Lucky likes the Shub mythology, and I'm a huge nerd.
Yeah.
I own both a complete H.P. Lovecraft and a Robert W. Chambers, The King in Yellow. I should probably pick up a hard copy of Machen's Great God Pan as well.
I really do need to sit down, because I have the audiobook of the great works of H.P. Lovecraft. I really need to listen to it.
But also, I just said, the other thing I need to physically get is, I need to, like I said, pick up some physical albums of Darkest of the Hillside Thickets. If you want their Shub Niggurath song, go look up 6 Gun Gorgon Dynamo.
6 Gun Gorgon Dynamo. That sounds amazing.
Oh, yeah, no, I think I posted it in, now that's what I call, I'm not going to read the whole thing, I can't even read it all without tabbling over there, but I think I posted it in there a few days ago.
I'll look for it. Tony Cocktail, we move on, though, because shit! So, this next one comes from the Emperor that strives... Oh, no, thank you for that, by the way. The Emperor that strives to finish the chapter this week. Hey, guys, came to say hi, hope you guys have a good day. I may edit my comment if I do finish writing the thing. That is in my alias, by Friday. Smiley face. There is no edit. Damn it, Emperor! You had one job. But thank you very much. This next one comes from 540 St. Cores, MP0 Spish.
Which is canon, by the way. Spish.
Ren was slightly nettled. But they say, hi, friends, I hope you both have better luck than me on the Space Ishtar banner. That is a resounding yes. Thanks for always making a fun show to listen to. Well, thank you for listening. I'm glad you're here.
Yes.
I appreciate you.
But also, to answer the question, I won't do the rerun sound effect again, but yep, we answered that at the top, so.
Yep. Hey, I'm at 70 missions.
No, let's do the missions.
So,
get my phone.
So, thank you very much. This next one comes from Sakura Fan 07, romping through space. They say, hey, Lucky Mega, how you guys doing? Saber Wars 2 Banner 1 has been kind to me. Got what I wanted from the banner with some welcome spooks. MP2 Nightingale, MP2 Waver, MP4 Valk. Chief among them. Saving the rest of my course till the MHXA banner. Saber Wars 2 Banner 2, and NA's Thanksgiving Banner, and maybe Super Orion. Still unsure about this possible, bro. Anyway, here's your questions this week. Lucky, first off, is your scooter fixed yet? Hopefully it's been fixed by the time you read this. I would rather trust Da Vinci Small with your scooter than harassing Evil Fox for love. Secondly, if Nasu asked for your assistance for a possible Saber Wars 3, how would you design your ideal version of a Space Sakura?
I think that's very funny considering what Space Ishtar's story is.
Yeah. I feel like I would actually want to sit down and think about this one a little bit.
A different time, perhaps.
Yeah, so a different time, like
don't you worry, I'm gonna have to. I've pre-read this question because it's 4 paragraphs.
Jesus.
So I already I suspect I will. You should read the question, but I suspect I have similar things to say about that one.
So, by the way, hit me up with that next week. I'll think over it on the week. But, and Omega, here's your question. I've been doing some research on Sion, and the Tsukihime Melty Blood version of Sion seems different than the FGO version of Sion. Mm-hmm. What is going on with our Sion? Is she a different timeline version of Sion?
Yes.
Later, Oswald trying to explain her MO and reason, or that's something that Yasuo has yet to explain at this point in time. Keep up the great work, you guys, and hopefully next year will not be as BS, probably not as this year for most parts. Stay safe, stay dry if possible. You guys are awesome.
For that last bit, reply Hazy, try again later. I mean, yeah, basically, I don't think I can answer this in detail without, doing my perspective, Teach Me, which is on the list, to talk about what's going on with Sion and how, Melty Blood is its own thing, slightly separate from Tsukihime, and also separate from Fate. So, yes, obviously, she is a different timeline. She's from a Tsukihime timeline originally, so the rules are different. She doesn't appear to be as vampiric in this one, though she can still eat blood. But there's a lot of complicated relationship there, stuff that we'll get into if and when we do that Teach Me. Has Nasu explained the difference or anything? Fuck if I know, man. There's 3 whole Lost Belts worth of stuff to get to, even. And more stuff, actually. We should have mentioned that on the top as well. They had a stream, right?
Yeah, I watched
They said that there will be I believe there will be an event. There should be an event in November which requires Lost Belt 5 clearance, and then in December there'll be an event which requires Lost Belt 6 clearance, I think?
Well, that sounds like 6.5 and maybe a fucking, I don't know, maybe a Guda or something.
Yes, here it is. Previous announced Lost Belt 5.5. So 5.5 locked event in November. There's another story locked event in December which requires beating the final boss and stuff of 6. Got it. So, yeah. So there's some deep cuts for event stuff that's story related. Hope you're caught up, everybody. Well, you've had plenty of time to catch up, so.
Good luck.
But yeah. So that's my my thoughts on that. We'll get there eventually.
Mm-hmm. So thank you very much for that. We're going to move on. This next one comes from a notorious fan contemplating joining the dark side. Greetings. Reference. Limited 2001 film. Not sure if either of you seen it. I have not, but I know of it. The protagonist takes NZT-TAC for aid, a nootropic drug. Questions. If you can learn skills at a faster rate, which ones would you like to learn? What would you use new abilities to create mental streams of income to increase your net worth? Have a pleasant journey, and may the protection of the planet Saber be with you. Lucky would not actually go anything crazy. I would just increase my artistic talent. I would improve my ability to write, draw, and create music. right away. That's all I need. That's all I want.
I mean, yeah, if I could get my 10,000 hours, I would probably branch out a little into, like, some more, probably not straight up, like, fine arts. Like, I think that ship might have sailed for me, and I just, don't have the interest. I can trace, though. But no, I would probably get into, like, more visual rendering stuff and music, but also I would probably just, if it could be faster and easier, I would take the time to pick up more video editing stuff. But I would definitely want more money, because then gets me tools so I can practice my skills. I don't know if it's necessarily straight up different streams of income, but, I can't, use my newfound ability to learn to play guitar if I don't own a guitar, that kind of stuff.
Also, I would improve my Japanese.
I'd probably improve a lot of languages, but I'm a weirdo. Japanese would be on that list.
Yeah, it would.
Finally, I am no longer at the mercy of translators for these moon runes.
I finished this monster. Another!
No, not too many. I don't want you to transcend reality mid-show.
I will go even further beyond.
Lucky goes full-blown Hulk midstream.
So, thank you very much for that. We're gonna move on. This next one comes from a hunter glad that his wallet isn't dead for once. So I didn't have to spend for Spishtar as part of the contract that was sealed. I'll be doing $480 during the next What's Up stream. Actually, has it just happened every time you've done this?
I think it is. I think that's why this person did that, because he was like, the dark contract has worked every time.
It's true. On the next What's Up stream, but aside from making deals with the metaphorical devil known as Tyranny Rabbit, I'm happy to notice that both of you got your space Ishtars. Hope she wasn't paying for either of you, and if she was, then may her goofy MP line and sex and incision heal that pain away. It was actually quite hilarious.
Yeah, there's a lot of detail work. I have mine in the 3rd Ascension for now, because those animations are great, but, like, I think you can randomize, so I might do that, because it's kind of funny.
I like her cold robotic voice. Like, when she, like, the battle is open, she just goes, co. That's just the onomatopoeia for Rumble. I'm just like, that's hilarious. I love her.
I also like how, in her final form, to do the extra attack, she, like, goes, like, fucking, full anime, and, like, the cape comes off, and she just punches the enemy.
Great. I am a little sad that her... Maggie, you got to the first battle with Ren versus Astarte, right?
Yeah, the one you can't win.
Yeah, no. I wish the MP actually still had that fucking music, though. That track was baller. That's the only thing I'm upset about right now. I need it. I need it in my life. Oh, excuse me. Anyway.
There's a couple of annoying fights you're not supposed to win, but whatever. We're here. We're doing the thing.
Where was I?
There was also that one fight against Billy where I think the game was telling me to use command seals, and I'm like, I don't know if I like this. Those are a limited resource, buddy.
They're semi-limited. Ain't got anything else for you other than well wishes and have a good weekend. My next bounty awakes. Well, good luck with that, my dude. I hope you are enjoying this event as much as we are, and I hope you enjoy our impressions of it. Yay! So moving on swiftly, thank you very much. This next one comes from in solidarity with the Dead Wallet. Hey y'all, do you think it's possible that Lightworks releases some servants in need of a buzz, purposely to get people just to roll for the servant, then buff the servant to get the others to roll for them? First wave would be, I roll for the love crowd. Second wave would be for I roll for the utility. And second round, I roll for love peeps, shooting for higher MP levels and increased utility. Or is that too scummy in practice and I'm being too cynical for considering it? Thinking about Rene's buffs got me consider this, for some slight context. P.S. Pishtar was the most expensive servant ever for me, with 800 smackaroos for an MP1. Can I get an F in chat? I will give you an F right here. But also regards in solidarity with the Dead Wallet. That is very dead.
Show me those Fs in chat. So I will say... Hold on a second. Wait a minute. Hold on. Something slightly funny happened in chat. I'm not sure that's allowed. Can you press F at your own funeral? But no, what I was going to say was... So I think you're right, but in a not cynical way. I mean, I don't... well, actually, I should say this. I don't think they release servants in need of a buff, because that's dumb, right? Like, I know planned obsolescence is a thing, but releasing a unit who does nothing is dumb.
No, it's just the way they want to play the game evolves.
Yes, the metagame changes, and also some servants sit on the back burner for a little bit, we're pretty sure, you know? For better or worse, FGO does have an obsession with theming. Like, I'm pretty sure some servants have had their buffs designed for months, if not years. But they only come out when it's relevant to give the servant that rank up. Now, obviously, they've gotten a lot better about that, like attaching those to different things. But you can't tell me that they haven't known what they were planning to do with Halloween Liz or Brave Liz for a long-ass time, because those servants are old, right?
Right.
But it wasn't relevant until they came up with the system by which you can get your copies again if you haven't been playing for those last couple of years those first couple of years they were in, and get your buffs, right? And those aren't, you don't pay to roll those servants. That's just, they're all welfares. You just complete some story stuff and farm some currency, you know? So I don't think they deliberately hobble servants. I think they may, as a lot of game design does, they may err on the side of caution with some servant designs. They may think, oh, this might be a little too strong. For instance, Emiya was teased as having an arts NP because it would have made a lot more sense when they started. But back in the day, they were like, hold on, we don't know if we want this NP. We don't know if we want you to be able to do back-to-back NPs. They're supposed to be special. Now it's just like, no, back-to-backing NPing is part of how we design the game, because it's a faster strategy that allows more interaction and more flexibility, basically, right? Because basic attacks are basic attacks for the most part. So they eventually gave him the buff, and they were like, nah, heckin' do it anyway. Switch your NP type. We already designed a servant around switching your NP type. Emiya can do it. It's fine. So I think there are times when they release servants who are deliberately stronger or weaker than the curve. They have talked about how there is some lore elements in how they design servants. So when like super OP servants like Merlin come out, right? That's a deliberate choice because they're supposed to be super OP. But I don't know if they're deliberately trying to be like, somebody will roll for this character anyway, so we'll make them weak so we can make meta nerds roll them later. I think that it is not done that way. I believe, will they absolutely, if they have an opportunity to do a banner, buff that servant so that you want them more? Yes, but also it benefits the people who already rolled for that servant, you know? So, yeah, I guess to stop rambling a little bit, I don't know if they deliberately lowball them, but I do think they absolutely set up buffs and banners to like try and get you interested in a servant who is maybe underperforming, but not because they're making deliberately underperforming servants, or if they are, that's not a money-grubbing tactic. That's they don't want to like upend their entire meta for the next 6 months, and then it happens anyway. Because sometimes they do want to upend their entire meta for 6 months, you know? Game design's hard, y'all. I was skimming back over some Mages of War / Mages of 2020 stuff, and reminded of like how much blood, sweat, and tears went into the back end of that, and also Lucky and Marth's fake blood, sweat, and tears went into balancing that.
What? Oh,
your fictional blood, sweat, and tears as you guys got beat up a lot as we had to round some things out.
Yeah, good time.
Playtesting.
Good times. Anyway, I have nothing else to add on that, so we move on. This next one comes from a literate who will slightly tone down the gimmick. Oh, only slightly, I see. Cheeky. Let's see how this works.
We'll see if Lucky can stomach it.
Question. Last week, I might have went a little too hard on my gimmick. My bad. Anyway, if you had the ability to buff Geronimo's skills with 2 more effects, what would they be and why? Comment, I still feel like adding on a higher survival effect like an event to his quick would be drastically affect his usability. I also feel like giving a 300 attack up would help his overall damage. Also, in addition, I feel like making this party-wide buff or target will improve his usability. Have a nice week. Alestria. O-face. Additional comment. I can't believe it's still Jacques Dawn. Dudes can't have shit in Chaldean. No, Chadia.
In Chadia. That's funny because of the thing. Yeah, okay, now that we're actually in the question, you're not trying really hard to make your question literally unreadable. Only trying a little hard. I mean, yeah, I think everybody suggested that making his buffs targetable or party-wide would be the way to go. You would also probably want to make them do something else, but that's just because...
Well, we're definitely in a time of skills do more than one thing.
Yeah, if a skill does one thing, it does it really, really hard and, like, usually has a low cooldown. And I don't know, like, let me check. I don't know his numbers off the top of my head, so I'm wondering, is it, like, full mana burst for each of them? Because if you just do that targetable, that's pretty spiced. I mean, yeah, no, they're the full, they're each 30 to 50% for one turn with a 5-turn cooldown. That's already really good numbers, it's just that because they're not targetable, or AoE, they're stuck on a servant who is a 3-star caster. He does have 2 buster cards, that's cool, but yeah, so honestly, making them targetable, or, God, making them AoE would be unusual, unprecedented. I don't think there are a lot of 50% card ups that are AoE. If anybody knows of any, let me know in chat. But yeah, that would definitely be a niche on its own. I suspect they would... Okay, so Atalantes goes up to 50 on the green? Okay. She also did need some work on those buffs, so that could be interesting. I do, though, kind of agree that I don't think it really does anything with his kit unless he gets some extra effects on there, you know?
Yeah.
Because, like, his NP is, AoE arts. It's only one hit, though, so you're not going to loop or anything. It does reduce enemies' critical rate. It does do a heal. It has been buffed, so the damage is amped. Oh, Alex has a 50% AoE. Are those all quick? Are these all quick 50% AoEs? Interesting. Interesting conclusion we've reached, everybody. I wonder what this could mean. Yeah, I mean, like, on the one hand, like, as a buff servant, throwing out, like, a 50% team buster or 50% team arts would probably be a little cracked, but it's not like Geronimo doesn't need the help to have a niche, you know? I don't genuinely know, though, what effects would be good, because, like, is he supposed to be a support? Is he supposed to be a damage guy? Like, it was an interesting idea, but it's just not very practical. Like, you could make shamanism, like, maybe be like a battery. That might help. That'll probably help him for himself, because he does want to fire his NP. I don't want to, like, spend too much time spectating on this, because there's, like, a million things you could do, though.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, that is that. But we will move on. Thank you very much for that. This next one comes from a master enjoying the majesty of space while Spish-trying comma over who's best goddess of the universe. Sounds about right. Well, almost. Kama would probably argue for like 2 minutes and be all like, I'm fucking bored of this, and then go skulk off somewhere, thinking she's secretly the best. Kama's a gremlin. I love her, but she's a fucking gremlin. I know what she's about. You're probably gonna complain to me. Oh. But they say, hey, look at Omega, I hope your space adventures have been so far. Managed to pick up a Spishtar while fishing for CEs, and I must say she is a cute little person. Loving her in the event so far and hoping the momentum keeps going. So my question for this week is, if MHX is to Luke as MHX is to Darth Vader, that's wrong, by the way, who would the servant equivalent be to Palpatine be? If there isn't one, choose and give your reasoning for it. Good luck, fellow space cadets, and never forget space. If there's a Palpatine, it's fucking Merlin. It's just fucking Merlin. Just in the background, orchestrating everything.
Or Merlin is the ghost. We don't know.
Oh, no.
Also, yeah, no, I mean, it's an interesting relationship. MHX talks about it a little bit. Like, to her, EX is like her. They're like rivals, but also like sisters, because, X-Alter was MHXA was designed to defeat her. So it's a whole thing. But yeah, I don't know what the Palps.
And I'm just gonna say Merlin because Artoria hijinks.
They'd have to wear a hood.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he has a sprite with a hood.
Yeah. They'd have to give him a palette swap so he's dark, though. Does anybody have a dark hood? Look at this guy in chat. Buff Scotty. What Scotty conspiracy is this? I mean, honestly, I feel like people are digging a little too deep on the direct Star Wars comparisons. As evidenced by how Lucky was like, blah, blah, blah. No, I don't know about that. It's, yeah, but Adelante has stuff that is just Scotty need a buff because of Adelante. Just saying. Oh, stretch it. That's a dumb mentality. Mm-hmm. That's just sunk cost fallacy, buddy.
Yeah.
I have no sunk cost fallacy, and I think you're smoking crack. I genuinely don't think skills are necessarily tied to the rarity of a servant. Usually that's raw stats.
Yeah.
Because, like, I think, doesn't Mozart still have, like, one of the biggest star bombs? Period. I mean, it's post-buff, but, like, it's huge. There's a lot of other wacky, wild shit you do with low-rarity servants. It's more about niches
than
it is about rarity. It's about finding somebody they can do. Obviously, I think because low-rarity servants have bad stats, they tend to fall more easily into support niches or really specialized damage dealing, but yeah, you can do a lot of weird stuff. Anyway, yeah, no, I don't have any thoughts on this. The analogy isn't perfect, so... I'm saving all my brain cell for describing servants later.
Yeah.
I have to read out all, 5 things Jane's third skill does. Technically 6, because it's 5 at star tiers, and then 1 it does all the time.
Yeah.
Whomst is Noomst.
So Whomst is Noomst, a space agent 418. They say, hello, Space Lucky and Space Omega. So is the Serververse a place where Amakusa's plan worked? Happy space hunting.
I mean,
off the top of my head?
Literally?
I mean,
also,
yes.
Actually, no, isn't it not? Because doesn't Space Professor say it was the Switch was 5 billion years ago or something?
No, well, we don't. Well, here's the thing: we don't know how fucking long the servant universe has been in effect. We just know at some point, fucking humanity evolved and they just became fucking mana, and therefore they kind of just turned into servants. Which
True.
is
I guess we don't have a great grasp on what is going on.
So I can kind of say yes, it's kind of like Heaven's Feel, kinda, but we don't actually. They never actually say someone activated the Heaven's Feel. They just know humans just
I also don't know if it's like a perfect analogy. One, because it's a joke universe, but also because it's like servants do still need to eat because they don't have any masters to supply some mana, so it's like a whole different thing there. They do apparently age at some level until they reach their peak, and then they stop, I guess. Yeah, he talks about the universe being older than the series of humans, but I don't know how we tapped into humans become servant. Well, there definitely seems to be some kind of, like, what class you are or become seems to be, like, related to your standing in society and abilities. I think, doesn't Jagomura-sensei say that Ishtar, when she left the academy, switched her class?
Yeah.
Space Ishtar is still an Avenger because, secretly, guys, this is also actually Kill la Kill. She's got to find out who killed her dad. I did not catch the possible allusions.
Don't lose your way.
We got sisters and space katanas, and dads are dead.
It's gonna end in space. Oh wait, we're already there.
We're already there. We're already there, and there is, you know, a giant space Ishtar in a dress, so it's like Darling in the Franxx too. Will we Gynax pose out of it? I don't know yet.
I hope we get to Gynax pose.
Well, also no, they really can't. That's like, yes, caster Medea uses her magic knowledge to like steal command seals, but that's like against the rules. It's not supposed to work. When she summons a servant, she summons a shitty fake ass servant, so it's not supposed to work that way. Because original Fate Stay Night did it, it is occasionally alluded that casters can shenanigans command seals because they are spells, but it's not supposed to work that way. Though they do joke that when they meet us, that they think that our class must be caster because we're a wimp. But like, I mean, also, yes, a servant is just a shorthand for being a mana construct. Yes, that's actually, did you not remember when I talked about T2A? Like, we should clarify. At no point do they say this is the heroic spirit universe. This is the servant universe. People are like semi-spiritual entities who are all way stronger and more magical. Like, some of them happen to have proper true names and noble phantasms and stuff, but some of them are just randos. Well, they shouldn't, because they're not the same, technically. Because you can get servants who are not heroic spirits. Hi, all of those beasts we've recruited. Hi, several other people. Technically, the goddesses we've recruited are also their divine spirits, not heroic spirits, even if they're degraded. The whole thing. That also does, because I don't think they call her a divine spirit. They talk about Space Ishtar actually being a goddess servant, so I think there is also some dichotomy in the actual universe as well. We're going really deep on this lore hole. There is no definitive proof one way or another this is a Heaven's Feel type scenario. I think there is some timeline stuff involved, but I would have to go back and check Professor Tokiomi's tapes. The impression I got was that the universe being the servant universe, the Super Blue or whatever we translated it as Galaxy, even though we also say Sapphire Galaxy in the text, because fuck me, I guess.
Yeah. Also, I do want to put out, it also could just be that humanity just achieved the next step in their evolution. Like, this is one of the things that they allude to. If humanity overcomes all 7 beasts, they will just evolve.
Yeah, this is also hinted in CCC. Gil says that he's seen the future and mankind will go to the stars and stuff.
Yeah.
I believe Merlin has also said this. There is also this could just be a far future version of the universe where humans have basically become mana stuff, and you know the Earth's not super dead, so it's full of ether. Yeah, there's definitely some like alternate timeline stuff going on there, and for realsies, guys, we should literally not take this too seriously. The opening crawl straight up says this might be real or it might not. Who knows?
I don't know, but I know I'm gonna move on. So thank you very much.
Yep.
This one comes from King of Apples, who put Atoria in the team competent. Tell her it was just for event drops. Sad panda. Question: the fact that Saber Wars 2 takes place in the shiny blue galaxy, which is that way because of an overabundance of Ender, has got me thinking about the other important blue stuff in Fate. Stuff like the 5th Magics, Saber's Colors Team, Chaldean, and Mystic Eyes of Depth Perception. Do you think there might be some underlying coming to importance of things that are blue versus things that are red. No, it's just people like to use blue and red as contrasting things. That's it.
I mean, also, blue and red do have, if you're into sci-fi and science, do have a context, blue shifting versus red shifting, you know? It's about the spectrums of light and stuff.
Well, yeah, I think it's just, again, people just like to use blue and red because they directly contrast it. Like, fuck, I'm playing Far Cry 6 right now. All the guerrilla stuff, it's all blue. All the fucking Castillo army ship, it's red. Mm-hmm. That's just how it is.
Yeah, they are... blue and red are classic opposing colors. I don't remember if they are literally... Yeah, so they're not... I don't think they're... Depending on your color wheel, they're not literally opposed, but they're in that kind of a side stance where they're very strongly contrasting. Like, technically, you see this in terms of, like, blue and orange. Like, blue and orange are technically opposite colors, so they're complementary. But that means that red and blue are at a scant, so they contrast strongly. So, yeah, no, like, you could argue maybe Nasu is a blue guy, but also, I mean, there's a lot of red references as well. Emiya's red, Rin is called the Red Devil sometimes.
Actually, it's interesting.
Aoko is, like, has the bright red, but her sister is called Dirty Red, you know? Like, there's a lot of color symbolism.
Actually, I just thought about it. Like, we think about the original Space Night, it's Shiro with the blue servant, Rin with the red servant, and then Sakura with the kind of purple servant. Yes. Purple-pink.
Also, you could argue that's their own color schemes, because Shiro tends to wear, like, his classic outfit is, like, his blue sleeves. Rin is noted for her red association, and Sakura's hair is, of course, unnaturally purple.
Yes.
As is, you know, Shinji's. There's also a strong... Gil is strongly emphasized by his goldness as, like, an extra party. They even kind of do this again in CCC, though that includes also Archer, but, like, Tomo is very blue. Nero is very much about the red, but she's also, like, red and gold. Tomo is, like, blue and pink. Like, there's a lot of just basic color theory shit in here, okay? Yeah, so I don't know if it's necessarily deeper.
Like I said, I'm just gonna call back to the old trope of red Oni, blue Oni. Yep. It's the thing as old as time.
And technically, you can get some wiggle room in there because Japanese is not always clear about the difference between blue and green as well.
True.
And green and red are complementary colors, going by our modern understanding of how light and pigment works.
I forgot that Liz does tail slap for extra.
Though, it's funnily enough, just to reference one final thing, is if you think about frequencies of light, red and blue are on opposite ends. That is why red shifting and blue shifting happens. Red is the lowest wavelength closest to infrared, hence there, and then blue is way up at the top, and then once you go past that to violet, you go to ultraviolet.
Or red to ultraviolet. Yep. So, just think of it that way. But unfortunately, I'm going to keep us going. We're going to go. And we go on to The Eternal Storm. It says, hey guys, hope I'm not too late. Just finished the story of the event. I really liked it. Question. How do you think the event used the servants well for their part? Thank you for your time. Hope your roles went well.
Well, we're not done with the event, so we can't give you a 100% answer on that. But so far, I like it.
I enjoy it. Again, Munenori is a joke man, and I find this hilarious.
Yes, the thing where he puts on his helmet when he doesn't want to deal with his sassy lost child is just... And they do the... And then it's like... And then like, honestly, I'm going to bet some of the Spaceballs style references are probably the localizers. But, like... the start date is almost like President's Group, where she's like, and don't talk with me with that thing down. I can't understand you. What if you're laughing at me behind there? And he's just like, I'm sorry, my lady. Again,
usually when Munenori is in like these events, he's usually pretty. He has the jokes, and I find that hilarious.
Well, they do the thing I love where they make him a comedic stoic.
Yeah, like
he doesn't really emote, he doesn't really crack jokes, but by being so serious about everything, he's really fucking funny.
It's great. Like, I love his interludes. Like, yes, I am traveling around the simulator, doing battles, also eating foods, just in case. And they're like, this is great. I love him. Honestly, I unironically do love Munenori now. I need to use him more.
He's pretty cool. I should try and see if he's got a rate up that lines up with anything. I might have some tickets at the end of this. Well, I'm at 29, I guess, because of, like, logins and stuff. I would have 1 for 110 roll. Maybe because I got my Space Ishtar, I'll go broke. Am I rolling for anything the rest of the year?
Do you want Super Orion?
I mean, I should probably take a complimentary pass at Super Orion, but that's also going to be a story release, so there'll be a shitload of quartz.
Yeah, you probably don't want to roll for Vitra. We don't know what's on the Thanksgiving banner yet. We
True.
have no
It
no
might
Christmas.
bamboozle me and bring back Musashi.
Yang's next
Musashi.
year, my dude.
No. Yang is this New Year's.
Yes.
But that's technically next
that's
year, so I
that's
don't
what
know.
I meant.
Yeah. Yang is technically next year, so I don't know if that counts. I don't know if I mean, I like Team Tentacle, but I've already got all the foreigners. I'm not super, like, Yang's cool, but I'm not, like, super dying out here.
Listen, I need those thighs.
Incorrect, Tyrano.
That's Robin.
I'm good. I have sabers. They're gonna give me Nightingale. She's gonna be Mary Poppins, y'all. It's definitely, do I want to try and make some rolls on Super Orion or Europa? And Europa probably not, because she's permanent.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, if they do another Camelot banner with Lancer Artoria, I try so hard every time. Well, not so hard, but, like, I put some efforts. I did, like, 15 tickets on that last banner.
You got so far. No, I shouldn't sing that.
It also did not matter, because even though I spent, it was, like, 15 tickets. Okay, I guess I got MP2 Tristan out of it. It wasn't the worst. Well, I'm still locked in because, despite all the other permanents, still no Tamamo. I'd really like to make that arts thing come together, guys. I'm interested in this arts thing people are talking about. I say with my Bond 10 Jean. But alright, we're pretty close to the end. Let's wrap this up.
Let's keep going. So, thank you very much. This next one comes from the Burger Burglar who burglarizes burgers. Hello, Blade Rapid Lucky and Fiendish Engine Omega. I was going to ask you guys about a servant idea until I read Rule 3, and no. Fortunately, I don't have a Discord account, so instead, I wish you both a great weekend. Well, sorry to hear that, my dude, but we have to do this because we are already in the fucking weeds. Jesus Christ.
The mission clock is at an hour and 45. Over a little, actually, technically. This is all just in mailbag, too.
Mailbag! So, but thank you for the well wishes. I hope your weekend is going swimmingly, and I hope your idea is as cool as you think it is. I bet it is. So, with this, we move on. Thank you very much. This next one comes from In Need of Donuts. That's a powerful mood. That's a powerful mood. I feel like I want donuts now. Just give me some glaze. Just give me that glaze. I'm just going to stick my finger in that hole.
What if I can order donut holes on like Amazon? But I don't trust our mail system. The mailman's going to stuff them in a post box in the middle of the Florida heat. Like an animal.
Ooh.
Any box that is too small is not guaranteed to come into my front door, because I've talked about this before, we have neighborhood mailboxes, so that's just, like, my Pocky order may have sat out for a little bit in the 80-degree heat, and it is slightly melted. I'll eat it anyway, because the Pocky, damn. They will send it to Hawaii. I'm
still bamboozled by this, by the way.
Hey, if you're lucky, the seller will be apologetic, and maybe you'll get some extra swag. I know that happens sometimes, but
I don't know if they're sending me some extra swag, but I did message them, and they did apologize. Yeah, no, they said as soon as we get the cards back, we'll send them out again. I was like, okay, cool, that's all I need to know.
That is usually what they do. I haven't had any like misorders with TCG Player myself, but I've had some stories because a lot of these sellers are just, sometimes they're game stores, but sometimes they're just dudes with envelopes. So, you know, sometimes you get like a bunch of orders at once and you mix up the labels.
Okay, now I think I have to explain this a little bit. So, Lucky today checked on his order from TCG Player, where I'm ordering my Dragon Maid cards from, because, Lucky's just collecting Dragon Maids. I ordered it like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, it should have arrived by now. It's only coming from Texas. I pull up the email, I check the tracking number, it says it's been rejected. I'm like, why has it been rejected? It never showed up. It turns out it was rejected from M Beach, Hawaii. I don't know how it got to fucking Hawaii. It's like someone like trying to shoot a guy with a grenade launcher, but the grenade just goes completely over the fucking guy's head and lands somewhere else. That's how I felt in that moment. It's like, okay. So I had to send off a, how did I put this? Strong, yet polite, yet firm message to the seller and be like, guys?
Hey, so, slightly absolutely livid, but also completely understand. Please give me my thing.
Yes.
Please fix. You've goofed it up.
And they were like, hey, man, we're sorry. As soon as we get them, we'll send them right back. I'm like, okay, cool. That's all I needed to know. Because, again, like, I don't want them to be members. Oh, you have to pay the shipping cost again. I'll be like, fuck you. But, no, everything's fine. But, yes, no, Lucky's Adventures in Yu-Gi-Oh! Which are really weird, considering I don't play Yu-Gi-Oh! Ha 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 ha. Anyway, this person has something to say. They say, hello, Lucky and Omega. Hope you're well in honor of Halloween. Please tell me your favorite Halloween craft essence. Well, it's gonna be one of the redrop ones. Faux show.
Oil icing.
I think I have to go with Trick or Treatment, though.
That's another good one.
If it wasn't Trick or Treatment, it'd be Royal Icing. Faux show.
I mean, the funny thing is that all of them are basically art memes, like Dangerous Beast, Trick or Treatment, and Royal Icing. Like, other artists have applied that not only in their original context, but to other characters as a yoke a lot.
We don't see a lot of people doing Halloween Princess, though.
No, I do see it occasionally, but not nearly as frequently.
Yeah, no, but Dangerous Beasts and Trick or Treatment is usually the big ones. I've seen a few Royalizings, but almost no Halloween Princesses. And fucking, we're not even and Retrop's like, no outfits, only bath this year.
Reader didn't even draw a costume this time.
Okay, that's my second monster down. So, with that, sorry, I got a tingle there. With that though, thank you very much. We move on. We're on the last two here. This next one comes from the Tyrant King about to go Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan AK, Super Saiyan Blue on these banners, and the year ain't over yet. Hey, Gamba Man Lucky and Season of the Stars Omega. If you can get a GBC or any other Nintendo game on the Switch, what would it be? I personally would like Pokemon Stadium 1/2 and play some of the mini-games on it again. Also Pokemon Crystal. Take care and have a great evening.
Actually, you know what's... dig up my old Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance games to figure out.
Do you know what game I would pick? Honestly, do you know what I would pick? Fucking Golden Sun. Golden Sun 1 and 2. I fucking love those games. I still have Dark Dawn. But did I actually ever get the first two again? Did I buy them? Did I order them? I don't remember. I have to go look. I have to go dig them up. I got some games over there that I'm not sure. But, oh man, I loved Golden Sun. I really did. Just the whole, the story, cause on one game you played, one half, and on the other one you played the other half, keep switching sides. It was a very complex story. I loved the little, what did they call them? I forgot. The little summons. Honestly, shoot, that was that game was where I was actually introduced to a lot of things like Sibylle, Atlante, all those that's God, I love that game.
It's not. So the games are on Nintendo platforms, but probably my easy answer is just I would like Square to acknowledge Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, please, and not on a mobile game that's already been canceled and was only in Japan. Thank you. So give me my FFTA and FFTA 2 bundle on Switch, please, with some nice HD graphics.
Oh, HD.
I mean, I'm still going to play Triangle Strategy, but it's not quite the same.
I'm about to say.
The mechanics are similar but different, but FFTA has that specific, and especially 2 leans a bit more. It has that specific Evil East Alliance stuff in it. Heck, I think the original Tactics Advance was where Vieira first showed up.
Yeah,
that's their debut game. So I'm surprised it doesn't get more love, but that also I understand some people are weird about that game.
Yeah, because they weren't in the OG Tactics, if I remember correctly.
No, because the OG Tactics was all humans, even though it's supposed to still be in Evil East because it references all the oh god, I don't even remember what the summons are called. They're not Eidolons in that one. But those guys.
Espers?
Yeah, the Espers. They have all the same names, like Ultima's the big bad and stuff. But it's just humans left, so some people have some unfortunate questions about where did all our non-human races go? Where's all the Banga? What does this mean? It also could just be that the people who make Final Fantasy continuities are smoking the Kupo weed, and they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. As you should assume with most games that are not explicitly connected. If Square or Nintendo or somebody tells you, oh, this is actually linked to that, look at them funny. Unless they literally wrote it as a sequel, it probably wasn't that connected. They just decided it was later. But no, they weren't in the original Tactics, which did get a remaster on the PSP.
Do I have it on the PSP? I think I do.
Also, where they added Balthier as a bonus character you could get. And I think they kept the Cloud Strife bonus character, because, the original FFT came out when 7 did, so it was popular. So clearly we need the Final Fantasy Tactics remake, like 7. Give it the exact same quality.
Only if they bundle in a remaster Herjit's in there. That also had Cloud in it.
Yeah.
Oh god, that reminds me. I need to... Wait, no, I can't. I can't afford it right now. Sorry, Lucky's eternally on this quest to find old games that he played in his youth and buy them again, and one of them is Hinder, which is a PS1 side-scrolling shooter game by Square Enix that was really, really cool in my youth, and I loved it. The only thing is it's super fucking rare and costs several $100s to get. Yeah, several $100s. I was actually it was a couple weeks ago, but I was showing people how expensive some games are just to get. And it's yeah, no, fucking Adventures of Trombone, $800, y'all. Or was it Misadventures of Trombone? I can't remember. It's a really rare Mega Man game. Anyway. So, Omega says Final Fantasy Tactics. I say Golden Sun. We shall move on. Thank you very much. Last one is from Moon is lost in space now because her pod didn't land on Texas planet. Rip. Oh no. I feel like there's a music reference I can make here, but I can't come to mind. Anyway. Hey there, looking to make it. I'm personally disappointed in the new 4-star Archer Zenobia's design. I don't mind the fan service as long as it's not too much. I'm just upset that another Middle Eastern female servant is designed to show off more skin that is necessary. Why do you say that? However, I do like the fact that she has both overall color scheme and the chain aesthetic. It's just the outfit itself I have a problem with. What are your thoughts on her design or first impressions? Sorry for this in my rant. I usually like to keep my questions short. This probably won't happen again. Well, okay, so first off, like, it's your opinion. You're welcome to your opinion. You can express your opinion. That being said, sometimes I will not understand your opinion. So, fun fact, I did actually do a bunch of research on, Queen Zenobia during the time, and, fun fact, no one actually knows what the fuck she looked like, by the way. There are actually no records of her. I think the best people have is a fucking face stamped on a coin, and written description of her, and she was apparently really fucking beautiful, like with a smile that shone like pearls. Literal. We have like other things like saying, she was descendant of Cleopatra, also praised as a great beauty, and might just be the motherfucking Queen of Sheba. When there's a lot of mystery around her, what she actually looks like. Now, also, I do know what desert culture dresses like. It's usually a lot of robes, a lot of covers, a lot of layers. Sometimes very, very beautifully done. Very beautifully done. You should actually look up like some Syrian culture clothing. It's very beautiful. But as Omega did bring up,
this is one of those alleged statues.
Yeah, as they bring up, her appearance isn't necessarily designed just based on sexy woman showing off. No, she's literally in being parade triumph. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, it's a Roman triumph. It's just that's where we get the term the triumph from.
Yeah, she's literally being put on display and paraded around in chains.
I would have to double check. I believe because I think this happened with one of Cleopatra's sisters, when she got with their brother to rebel. I do not believe you are typically clothed in a triumph if you are the subject. I'd have to double check. I think that was a part of the big reason why Cleopatra was not keen on it. I don't know if you get to keep your pants.
Yeah. So, in that context, her outfit makes sense.
There is I know some people are hoping it's maybe a costume. I think there is like an NPC sprite of her that is like an even more advanced form of her dress, unless that's just like a fan art thing. In which case, why would you do that? Don't confuse me.
There.
I don't know shit.
Out there. Overall in designs, I'm gonna be honest. I'm me. I'm lucky. I'm horny on main. I see Booba, I'm like, good, yes. This pleases the nut. But, here's a fun fact. After I saw her design, do you know what my first immediate thing was to do? Research. I type in Zenobia, I start reaching Cinderella, I start researching culture and all that stuff. Like her lineage, what she accomplished and all that stuff. And I start reading. Like, that's my thing. Yes, appearances are good, but that's not all there is to a character. So this is one of those reasons of why I always get confused why some people just get so hyper-focused on a single aspect. It's like, does it necessarily... Like, this is when I'm, like... Remember, I was, Omega, I talked about this earlier. I don't understand what people mean when they say, seize the means of production. Like, I also have the same problem when I hear people, like, don't, like, objectify and glorify women. I'm just like, what does that mean, though? What does it actually mean to objectify a woman? Like, treat her like an object. I'm like,
yeah, what is that context, Clement? Yeah, I can see.
Yeah, so I'm just like, I don't actually understand that. Like, I see a pretty woman, I'm like, I like the way she looks. That's cool. I am wondering other things about her. I would like to find these things out.
And yeah, her first, I've pulled it up because I'm looking at other images. There's a lot of different stuff. There's a couple of statues. I think the Zenobia statue is like, the statue I reference is like way later. There may be some other busts that are supposed to be historically different. She was a subject of, some classical art, which has varying levels of,
yeah, you gotta remember, right? Queen Zenobia lived in, like, what was it? I think her reign was, like, 272 AD.
Yes.
It's a long time ago, y'all.
But, like, looking at her actual OG art up close so she's got, like, I guess it's supposed to be, like, a bridal veil, like, headdress behind that's pink-tinged. And then, like, part of the dress wrap around her, but also it looks kind of like it's torn away from her front. Yes, the V on the bikini bottom and stuff is, like, it's all very flattering. Also shows off a shitload of muscle definition. Nice. But, like, it's interesting to me that, like, our respondent here zeroed in on, this is a scantily clad woman from kind of a Middle Eastern area. But the chain aesthetic is neat, whereas I have heard some people be like, I'm not sure about this chain symbolism, y'all. Like, it's kind of interesting to see how different things hit different for different people, because, like, I mean, I don't think it's like a bondage porn thing, but it's definitely, like, there's some heavy and unfortunate symbolism to, like, you know, all the chainification.
Well, I do want to say this because, like, I can't, like, necessarily dismiss what this person's saying around because I do know for a fact that this person is a woman from the Middle East. So, you know, they would have, like, feelings about this and maybe how people from their culture are represented, you know? It is that kind of thing. But it's just, like, again, like, I don't actually have a way to quantify what this person sees and what I see, you know? It's like, this is why I have to literally say, like, why is this? What do people mean by this? Like, when I say that, I'm not actually, like, trying to be sarcastic when I am being very... It's kind of like the Socratic method, but you're teaching yourself as well. You're like, yeah.
Why? Why is this? And I think it's good. Sometimes you have to ask people, why is this thing the way it is?
Yeah. So it's like, yes, I understand, like, you again, desert faring communities, they don't show that much skin. It's kind of dumb. No. But also, we have an actual reason, you know, the triumph and whatnot. There's different things. So is it the fact that you believe, did you not know that she was on a triumph and this is actually something that was culturally significant to her story? Like, you know, post this, she either, you know, dies in exile or, you know, just kind of hangs out in her castle and be like, yeah, I fucked up. Who knows? Before that, she was actually... See, this is the thing that actually got me more is, in her art, she's actually depicted as more of a warrior queen type. You know, big, burly, strong, I throw swords and stuff, I'm awesome.
Yeah.
Where in actual history, she's actually the more cool, collected, intellectual type, who actually was a very successful ruler. She had a short reign, but she basically took she took over a bunch of land and was able to rule, first as regent and then as empress over a bunch of different cultures, which if you don't know is stupid hard. It's really stupid hard.
Yeah, multicultural empires are kind of a big deal in history. Also, by the way, there's a lot of little detail in this design. I'm only noticing some of this in her her sprites and stuff versus her art. It's a little hard to tell in the art, but I was wrong. That's actually not a veil. That's her hair. Her hair is like a light grayish brown, and then it becomes red at the tips. And also, her hair is in chains.
Oh wow!
In the art, you can see that she's technically, like, bound completely in chains. Like, wrists are linked to legs together, but also the hair is in chains. But also, it's interesting. In her first two ascensions, she's wearing a, like, black or gray rose at her wrist, tip, something. Let me double check this art. I don't even think that's in her actual, like, art, but it's in her sprites. Then, when she goes to her third ascension and gets the dress, there's more jeweled designs, but also... it's replaced by a wide variety of white roses. Again, no gray roses. Like, it's one of those rare cases where the servant doesn't do more nudity equals more power, but rather where, like, the ascension levels tell a story of, like, going from being in chains to, like, self-glorifying stuff.
It's like she's almost returning to her way as an empress or something.
Yeah.
But... So, like I said, like, again, your opinions are valid, your concerns are valid, because, again, like, I was actually thinking about this. Most of our dark tan beauties, yeah, they're kind of skimpy. I think the one who wears the most is Cleopatra, because Scheherazade, lot of skin. Nitocris, lot of skin. Sheba, lot of skin. Summer Nito is technically safe, because she actually puts on more. It's a little wild. But, so, you know, I do think it's something fair to say there, but I do believe in this case in particular, it's,
Nito's another one of those interesting cases also, where her first ascension is, like, her final ascension is very skimpy because they ditched some of the stuff, but, like, technically she's, like, I know that in her third ascension, like, she's just got ancient Egyptian band-aids over her nips, but, like, she's got a much bigger collar and a much longer, like, tabard. Like, technically more of her legs are covered up in that third ascension. There's a lot of interesting little details in these things. Also, actually, because the Egyptian people were mostly around a desert, they also didn't actually wear a lot of clothes. I think it was a lot of, like, tunics and skirts, and sometimes no shirts for both sexes.
Well, that's because they stayed by the Nile, if I remember correctly.
Yes,
mostly.
they were technically, the Egyptians were a river people.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Egyptian stuff caught up in the like regular flooding of the Nile and stuff.
Yeah, no, but Zenobia, while she did conquer, was it conquer? Yeah, she did take over like most of Egypt and annex to the Syrian nation, but did she rule from Egypt? I can't remember. Fuck. Listen, I've only gave myself a crash course in this. I can't remember everything. Fuck. But anyway, overall, the whole overall is, I think Zenobia is fine as she is. It's just you need to kind of understand the artist's intent and the historical/cultural intent in the design, I believe. If you're not okay with that, guess what? That's perfectly fucking valid. You don't have to be okay with it. You don't have to listen to me and be all like, because Lucky said it, I have to be okay with it. No, you can still be like, I'm not a fan of this. That's okay.
But you asked for our thoughts, and there they are.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And with that, though, I believe we are done. That was a bit of a heavy topic to end on.
Actually, I'm noticing this a lot. Sheba also does the thing. Like, her coat gets way floofier and more involved the higher her ascensions.
Listen, I know that, Sheba shows a lot of skin, but I'm all about those fluffy ears, man.
Well, the ears are very great, but also I would like in her second ascension, she gets, like, her overcloak and hood with the horns and, like, her, more details, and then she gets literal, like, fur trim in the third one. It's interesting to see the direction the artists go with a lot of these. It's like the first ascension is, like, shorthand for, like, hello, this servant is from a desert country. Here's how you know. And then it's like, and now let's go crazy with those amped details. Details!
Oh, that's sensual.
Like, on the one hand, it's like, is the artist, like, dying inside, or are they like, no more details? Oh, wait, both. Artists are weird. What the? Somebody's done translations of
what?
OSP videos in Latin?
That's
They recently did like a community subs thing, and they've been pushing for that. Some of these are relevant, Don Quixote subs in Spanish. There are Ibn Khaldun videos with Arabic subs. Sicily and Latin, though, that's flexing. And I say this as a guy who took 2 semesters of Latin. Anyway, that was our last mailbag.
Yes.
Okay. Well, then, I think it's fair, since we've been talking about them so much, let's move into free talk and do new servant stuff.
Yay.
New servant stuff. So, let's go ahead and talk about Fairy Tale Liz here. She's a writer now, thus continuing her saga of Liz being in all the classes. It's kind of funny, that she's a writer after we got Summer Carmilla.
I know. I was kind of hoping they would go for either a archer or a berserker to fill up those,
I was strongly suspecting writer, though, because of the lack of writers on the support list.
Yeah.
Somebody had to be a writer in here. Let's talk about her kit. So she's got Quake Arts Buster. So she's an Arts and Buster writer. With her HP and attack value very similar to other welfares in the past. Like, I think she's got a similar stat spread to ye old Santa Altar. Her attack isn't quite as high as, like, Rider Kentoki, but it's within spitting distance. She's based that way. Decently high attack. Not the worst HP, somewhere in the middle. So, pretty okay. Not, like, out-competing anybody outright, but definitely in the ballpark. Her NP is a single target buster. I think it's just Fairy Tale Erzabeth. It removes her debuffs first, and it amplifies the attack of all Fairy Tale servants for 3 turns based on overcharge. This includes herself and other folkloric servants. Not only characters you would expect, Rhyme definitely, as well as a couple of others. Voyager gets grandfathered in because there was a lot of references in the original Fate Requiem to him being the Little Prince, even though it's not what he is. But also it includes some servants you might not expect, because not only are they doing classic European fairy tales, but also the basic equivalent of Japanese folklore.
So Miss Crane should be in there, right?
Yeah, Miss Crane is in that list. Benny Enma's in that list.
Yeah.
Both Bunyan's in that list as well, yeah. As like an American tall tale. But Kentoki's in this list.
Yeah, makes sense.
Sitanai, Ushi, and Benkei.
Really? Okay, I find that a little... Well, I guess their stories have been exaggerated,
Yes, very folkloric. William Tell and Robin Hood are both on this list. Habetrot as well. Heshi and Lobo, because of course both of those are folklores, literally.
Yes.
And interestingly enough, only Melusine, Barghest and Babanshi are not on that list.
Well, I don't believe those are necessarily folklores, but more just kind of folkloric creatures.
Yes, those are archetypal creatures. Melusine is even if the character Melusine isn't the literal Melusine from folklore, she is a specific legend.
Yeah.
I think that's the same effect as, like, Voyager, right? Like, Voyager's not a fairy tale servant, but people think he's the Little Prince. So this seems to be similar to how Summer Ilya's children's skill works. It seems to be if we think you are, but it's pretty interesting because there's some low rarity servants, but there are also some high rarities on there, right? Like you've got, you're talking about an attack buff for like Kintoki, including Rider Kintoki, So there's some interesting possibilities here. And it scales based on overcharge. I think it starts at like 10 or 20%. Let me look it up. Okay, so it's 20%, and then it maxes out at 40% if you can get her all the way to 500%. So pretty good, and it's 3 turns. So interesting synergy. Her first skill gives her 3 hits, 3 turns of invul, 20 to 30% NP gain, not battery, but NP gain. But poisons herself for 3 turns for 500 damage. This skill is called Snow White Princess.
It's the poison fucking apple.
Yes, do you get it? She takes an invulnerable nap, but she eats the poison apple. Her second skill gives her 20 to 30% Buster up and 30% trait damage up versus Beast, but lowers her defense by 10%.
Riding Hood.
Red Hood Slicer, yes. And then her final skill is 10 to 30 stars, 20 to 30% battery, but seals her skills for 1 turn. This one's probably not as obvious. This is Glass Cinderella, so this is actual Cinderella.
Oh, okay. I was about to say Sleeping Beauty, but I was like, nah.
No, Cinderella. So as you can see, she is stealing from a lot of fairy tale ladies. She is called Elizabeth Bathory Cinderella, but she's got some things in there. I also do want to throw out, we talked about Carmilla earlier. What I also like to point out, Liz is basically wearing OG Carmilla's dress because it's got the reinforced framework, as dresses of the time do. But it's a funny thematic comparison. I've also just realized that are her horns meant to be detachable in this form, or did she just get them glassed?
She just got them glassed. I think her horns change. Like, remember, because fucking in Elizabeth Japan's horns are changes as well.
Oh, right, yeah, they're only... Yeah, it's right. Liz has Innocent Monster, of course. She has different shapes. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, Oh, yeah, okay. So all of her dragon bits are just now glass. I got it, okay, because her claws are glass as well. So her fingertips, her shoe spikes, and her horns are glass. But she still has her little pointy ears, and she's got a tiara, and she's got her little Hime drills. But clearly her dressmaker went to the Nero School of Dressmaking.
Window?
No, not that, but I'm thinking about the huge open space front that reveals she's wearing, like, I think it's all, like, well, I guess technically I think the bustle is around her waist, and then the thing that looks like a dress is she's just wearing, like, a full-body corset, I guess. A lot of leg involved. It's a very interesting design. Shout out to Wadarko, who made an anniversary servant, and then a mere 3 months later, actually more like 2, I think. No, it's 3, I guess. 2, 3, whatever. Is out here drawing a welfare.
Well, to be fair, with welfare, it's probably not as difficult because you only have to do 1 ascension plus the final.
Only one have to do 1 art. Well, 2 arts,
and then
but,
the final.
1 spray. Yeah. But still, yeah. Magic. Magic's how she walks in those heels. So her only passive is Writing EX. So basically, she has demerits, but that means that her skills are very strong, and she has a built-in way to get rid of them. So long as you don't proc her skill that has the battery on it first and seal your own skills, you can give her a sizable Buster Steroid. You can give her a very good hard defense. 3/3, guys. 3 hits, 3 turns. Very nice. And a trait damage on a single target Buster, by the way. And then you can just cleanse all her debuffs immediately. She has several damage amps and hard defenses. I think she can kick ass pretty good. I expect she's going to be a popular welfare for the foreseeable future. Like, depending on your comp, and if you straight up don't have Rider Kintoki, right? I think she's going to take that niche. Because that's kind of his thing, is the big boy, damage mods and just doing the thing. But this is very similar, only slightly overamped, and it'll be interesting to see how that works out. She'll be good against certain boss mobs and certain servants with her trait damage. And like I said, has interesting team player options. Now, let's move on to our actual banner servants. Jaques de Molay is an SSR foreigner and is drawn from the folklore and rumors about the Templars rather than historical fact. This is canon. She has Innocent Monster. So this version is not true to the historical reality of the FGO timeline. But, it's a thing. And it works out well with Liz. So she has lower attack but higher HP for foreigners, being QQA BB with strong hit counts. Very strong hit counts in NP game. NP's pretty standard these days. She's an AoE quick, which curses and amps curse damage and self-buffs MP damage for 3 turns. Where have you heard this before? pretty standard stuff. Her first skill is a team-wide 10 to 20% attack up, 10 to 30% crit up for 3 turns, and is also a 10 to 20% team battery, and makes the party evil for 3 turns.
Nice.
So it's Ishtar's crit charisma. It also is a team battery, and also makes your team evil. This dovetails into her second skill, which is a 1-turn invul, a 20 to 30% battery for self, and if you are an ally who is evil, you get a 1-hit, 1-turn invul as well.
Oh.
By the way, this does mean that she has a 50% battery for herself, because it's 20% for team and then 30 on self. But yeah, if your party is evil, she shares the love with invuls. And her final skill is Innocent Monster. 5 to 10 stars per turn, 10 to 20% quick up for 3 turns, and 30 to 50% trait damage against enemies who are cursed for 3 turns. Her passives are Existence Outside the Domain A, Territory Creation A, so her 1 arts card slaps pretty good, and Divinity B, because technically she's associated with a Abyss god, so an old god. Now, this is basically the exact same damage niche as like Doman or Van Gogh. Like Van Gogh's all about curse damage as well, though she's more about assigning it through actual hits, either being hit or hitting enemies. But I guess this means that you have a weird, funny team comp if you want to bully Berserkers and Foreigners. Like, she just meshes really well with the niches they've already carved out for Doman and Van Gogh. Also, arguably, Dante's as well. So, hey, guess what? If you like Quick and you like Dot, you have more Quick Dot servants. That said, I think she's got an interesting niche in that because of her, 20% team battery, the stars per turn effect, in addition to having quick cards, team buffs that are small, and, she herself has a 50% battery to go into that AoE NP. Which, let me check the hit count on that. I'm sure nerds in the audience will want to know. Her NP is, by the way, Friday the 13th, because you know why Friday the 13th is cursed? Templars.
I did not know that.
That is the historical folkloric origin, is that was the day the Templars got, was Friday the 13th.
Okay.
And since then, it has always been a super bad luck day of superness. 5 hits. 5 hits, quick. So, not crazy good, but, you guys have a lot of quick steroids in this team. It is an interesting one for sure. Now, Zenobia is also interesting. She's a permanent SR archer. Her stats are decently average, somewhere in the middle. She's quick, arts, buster. Decent hit counts and a slightly low NP gain. I think they didn't want to go ham. She's like 0.4 something. Wow, I wrote this wrong. I wrote this as quick. Her NP is AoE arts, I believe. Now I gotta double check, because I'm fairly certain I've written it down wrong. But I believe she is the arts crit focus. Yeah, there it is, okay. AoE arts, there it is. Wrote that down wrong. I'm like, that's not right. It gives her a flat 10% attack up for 1 turn, and then also deals bonus damage to king enemies. So the NP itself does bonus damage to king, not gives her a trait damage. But she also increases her own critical damage for 3 turns. Quite sizably, by the way. Starts at 50% and scales up with overcharge, maxing out at plus 100% if you get her all the way to 500% overcharge. So her first skill gives her, 20 to 30% arts for 3 turns. Charges her own NP gauge per turn by 10 to 20% for 3 turns. So, some Da Vinci Golden Rule numbers there. And also generates 5 to 10 stars per turn. So, pretty typical stuff. Increase arts performance, make you generate NP per turn, even if you're not getting cards, and get stars, which you need to crit. Her second skill gives her a 1k to 3k guts for 3 turns, gives her star absorb up for 3 turns, and gains outright 10 to 20 critical stars. And then I like to joke that her final skill, Prosperous Palmyra, by the way, referencing some of that stuff we talked about, her kingdom was actually very prosperous and very monetarily well off before the Roman invasion. I joke that it's her version of Ishtar's special charisma. It's 10 to 20% attack for the whole team, and then it increases the particle's critical resistance chance for 3 turns by 20 to 30%, as opposed to increasing their crit damage. It's very funny. So, let's see. Her passives are Magic Resistance D, so not a lot there. A little over 10%. But Independent Action B and Writing B, so her quick cards do decently. Basically, Arts Crit Servant. She uses her NP repeatedly and has quick cards to generate stars and has several other star generators. You want her to generate stars, crit on arts cards so she can use her NP again, so she can generate more NP and more stars, and she can go again and again and just beat up enemies. And her NP has an extra trait damage, with that king damage, to get in there and really bonk us quite a few people. And I would argue that the anti-king strategy is basically arts. Because the primary servants who do it is you've got Scheherazade and Zenobia's NPs and Muramasa has a passive trait damage where he does 20% more damage to kings. Because fuck you, Gilgamesh.
Are there
the only
any
one who's not arts there is, I think Jinkei has a skill upgrade for that.
Yeah, I'm about to say it's like skill upgrades.
Yeah, Jinkei has a skill for doing it. Kill a man in 10 steps, but that's quick based. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's a pretty interesting niche. I don't think she's super flashy, but she does do some newer things, you know. You can tell she was designed fairly recently because she's got that critical chance resistance. That's a thing that was added mostly around the Camelot Lost Belt. But all in all, I think she's a fairly decent, you know, self-sufficient arts 4-star. She's got a guts, you know, she's got both stars per turn and a straight-up star bomb. She has that NP regen and that arts efficiency. She's, you know, 4 hits arts cards at 0.47, so high 0.4. That's fairly decent. You'll probably get some stuff done. And she's got some party-wide buffs as well. I'm not quite sure what they were thinking with the plus 10% attack for 1 turn on her NP. That's a weird. But her critical damage up is for 3 turns, and it does last the rest of that turn. So that can, you know, kind of stack with her, like, you know, NPAA fish for crits thing. Ooh. And she's got a very interesting, I don't know how good it is, but she's got an interesting bond CE. Increases her NP damage by 30%, and when Guts triggers, charges her NP gauge by 30%.
Oh, scary.
Yeah, that's a funny one. That doesn't say her Guts, by the way. That's anytime Guts procs on her. So you could probably do some Immortal Arts comps to, like, farm for free NP gauge in challenge quests and stuff. It's funny. I don't know if it's good. Does she do anything weird with her extra stuff? No, but she does get her extra trait damages versus Berserkers. By the way, Liz Cinderella, if you spend those servant coins, her extra trait damages versus foreigners. I wonder why. Is perhaps something going on with this foreigner who's in this event and this weird spooky castle thing? Well, I'm interested. I'll go look up what Jax is. Sabers. Also interesting. Wonder what's going on there. I don't really deep dive into Appen skills because they're like two out of 3 of them are literally the same every time. But sometimes it's funny to look at these comparisons, you know. But all right, that's our new servants. All of them seem functional and interesting. I mean, I personally am kind of concerned that Jaques de Molay's kits is a little redundant. Like, Van Gogh's only like a year old and just had a raid up, but they don't like literally do the same thing. They more complement. So I guess we're trying to build a strategy of quick that is not just Scotty loops. You know, this is more of a power grind strategy. And like I said, fishes well with Domon, because I believe Domon has chaotic and evil buffs, and also does stuff with quick and curse, and has more batteries. Batteries. So, this leads us to our next general segment, Saber Wars 2 First Impressions. Because we're not done with the event. Lucky is at probably 70-ish missions by now, I think. I'm at somewhere over 50. 50 was the last big milestone I got. I am in the Green Garden area. I was just attacked by space monkeys. Suspiciously familiar space monkeys. So we won't go on like deep dives into the plot and stuff, you know, especially because there is a little bit of grinding to get all your extra shenanigans. But we can talk about the general setup. I mentioned this earlier. I do think this event, like a lot of FGO events, starts kind of slow, considering that maintenance ends in the middle of the night. But that's probably just a me thing. Who knows? For some of you, you're just getting awake at 1 o'clock in the morning when this goes live in your time zone. Heck, if you're, you know, European, sometimes it probably is the middle of your day. But yeah. So it starts off, I think there's some pretty interesting setup. I don't know what the maintenance on the 27th is for.
27th? What is that? 5 days? How many days we got left in Saber Wars 2? Like 9?
Yeah. Is that the MHX8 banner?
Nah, that should be the... People are saying that's going to be like this Monday, which is like the 25th?
Yeah, that's sooner than that. I don't know.
We'll see. It might just be some...
Stuff. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
Get ready for that Thanksgiving.
Lunch.
Well, yeah, I feel like we must have preloaded because the downloads for Saber Wars 2 were very small and there was no problems with maintenance. We're getting good at spreading out our assets. But yeah, so Saber Wars 2, you get kidnapped by yet another Ishtar, another Rin face. It's very funny. You spend some time in space jail. It's very funny. There's a literal opening crawl.
That was a bit long.
Yeah, that was a bit chunky. I think that was the joke, but like it's a little cumbersome. But you quickly get rolling. You know, you crash on this planet. You run into MHX. You can quickly tell this is a parody event straight up because there's a lot of so much stuff like the space Shinkage Ryu, which I think I assume the Ryu is supposed to be like you see it a lot in Sword Styles, but I think that's still the they're still using the character for dragon, so that would be like true shadow dragon. They're really try-hard guys. But like, her currency is literally dislikes.
Yeah.
No.
Uh-oh.
My, it's been like 2 hours, but my voice bars are filtering. Let me know if I'm getting bad again. I'll switch servers. Alright, switch to.
Okay.
Alright, if I sound okay to Lucky, that's okay. Just so long as the audience doesn't yell at me for like 10 minutes. We'll see if it holds out. Maybe my connection is still weird, and it's just not related to the roboting. The audio version is obviously fine no matter what, but that's a different question. Anyway, let's move on. Mash passed out for once, which is very funny.
I had a small giggle.
But yeah, there's some obvious like parody stuff. Like I said, like literally the dark team pays in dislikes. They do this funny thing where like the saber badges, right? Anybody who applies a saber badge becomes a saber, and apparently it's in demand. Only sabers matter. Very meta stuff.
Yeah.
But also it's a perfect excuse for MHX to flex her skills, because the moment you crash land on Space Texas, you run into her. She's got her cool space bike, but she's down on her luck. After finishing her plot where she went to the center of the universe and beat up some guys, and she had her duel/friendship with, Exalter, who is apparently gone now, for now. She's just, kicking back without a job. This is pre her MHXX employment, obviously. But you very quickly run into Space Ishtar, who just goes by Ishtar, or as Jane calls her, Ishtarian, acknowledging the joke. Hunting bounties, you get into a scuffle, and then it's very funny. You can see some interesting things, because the two goddess halves, sisters, whatever you want to call it, obviously look alike, right? But they have very different attitudes, Like, Ishtarte is trying very hard to be evil, but also is just kind of normal to you a lot.
Yeah.
So you don't get bored and try to escape. I've given you access to the space internet. Haha! You'll never think of escaping now. Also, I've given you some credit so you can buy yourself some stuff. Bye.
It's like you become her pet super quick.
Yes. And there's a couple of other moments, and like she's trying really hard, but she's clearly the straight man in this setup we've talked about, right? Like
right.
we talked about Muno earlier, who, like, despite his stoicism, is the funny man in their combo. No, I am not done with it. I literally did not say this, guys. I'm at mission 50. I'm not done with the story. This is first impressions. This is final impressions. Even if I wasn't done with the story, I wouldn't be telling you about the whole story. Some people are slow.
Mm-hmm.
Or busy. Slizzy. Slow. Other portmanteaus. Slight background noise from Lucky.
Slight background noise.
Yeah, some people said something about it too. But like it's kind of funny how they have those two comparisons, and then like Space Ishtar, the bounty hunter, like she tries to be like a symbol of justice, but you see when she gets that look in her eyes, she's thinking about the money.
Gems, yo.
She likes gems. She's also like way more like teasing, kind of leaning into she's like a soft tsundere. Like she's mostly like teasing her nice to you, but she's not really harsh. But like occasionally she can, get a little more serious. There was a great moment when we went to Queens where she tries to tease you. She's like, "Oh, you're asking my dad, huh? You wish he was alive so you could ask him for my hand in marriage." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, actually." And I just completely flipped the script on her, and she's like, "What? Huh? Destroyed. Boom. Nuked.
Counter."
Because she can dish it, but she can't take it. You also meet Jane, who's great, literal supporting character.
She's your cheerleader. I love it.
Yeah. She's the wiser, older ex-space cop. You can just imagine her running into Space Ishtar in the backstory being like, "Yeah, I knew your old man. He did me some help, so I'm going to help you out," kind of a thing. But, way more, "Yay, Genki." And then you guys just go on wacky space adventures.
It's fun. Like, you go to Space Texas, you fight some bandits, you go
fight
to
space yakuzas.
Yeah.
You go to what do they call it? The Big Blue Gem, which is like a gas giant, but it's icy.
We get to make goddamn cold jokes.
Yeah, Anastasia says goddamn cold for once as opposed to goddamn hot. A great callback.
There's fighting, like I said, the space nomads.
Mm-hmm. Space with their space cows.
Mm-hmm. You go to a ruined planet where Cat curses you.
She's also, by the way, she's Schrodinger's cat because she exists in a quantum state of instability until you
feed her.
Yeah, trick her and feed her. There's these kaiju comet things which come out of nowhere.
They're so random.
Yeah.
I kind of expect them now. I was like, all right, am I moving from a new planet? I'm probably going to get hit with a fucking comet. Oh, there it comes.
There's this whole funny backstory thing that we've seen a couple of. Lancelot is clearly working for the Space Shinkage Ryu, but in disguise. So he attacks your spaceship in the style of Lancelot from Fate Zero. He's riding outside shooting at you. But then MHX is just like, hold on, I'm gonna give this guy a piece of my mind. And she's just like, Lancelot, the heck? Don't you have to go home and, like, take care of your family? And he's like, I do not know of whom you speak, but he sounds handsome. I have recently gotten amnesia. However, I believe I need to return to my family and take care of my son at a difficult time.
Flies off.
I must go now. My planet needs me. By the way, I love that that's a joke, that if you go to his second bar, they don't actually change his sprite, but it's like MHX recognizes him and he goes away. I love it. I have not fought him yet, but I have encountered Space Gawain, which is a very funny sprite, by the way. I love this story sprite of Gawain, with 6 saber badges.
And a chef hat.
And a chef's hat and his
apron.
His apron and his pot of taters. Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. I'll take a plate of buttered spuds, please. I'm sure that one's going to be great as I go deeper down the line. That's as far as I've got, but yeah. Yeah. Yep, that's a good one. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a great. And I just love it. It's bronze and gold badges, by the way, too. He has no silver saber badges for some reason. And they do the classic cutaway gag, like we're constantly seeing what's going on the Dark Mana as Ashtart slowly loses her mind. You go to Rin's old school, Queens, which is full of Amazons, and Jaguar Sensei, and the robot principal, Shang Yu. And I mean, they have their good, cool moments. Oh, we should throw this out there. That person who wrote that question about finishing their chapter, they have finished it now. So they finished it before we finished the show, but not before we asked the question. Or answered the question, whatever. Yes, Space Ishtar was student council president before she ran away from school to become a berserker because her father was brutally murdered with a katana. Again, also big Kill la Kill vibes from this. She's gotta find out who killed her dad. So yeah, all in all, this event has great humor. It's a lot of fun, but there's also a lot of genuine character building. Like, I really like what they do with these literal space travel scenes, right? Mm. Where, like, you're building up Ultrium, or they need to set up that you need to build up a resource to, like, buy the next lock, because it's currency locked, not time locked.
Yes.
So, like, I love that they have these just no battle only setup scenes where you're just chilling in the little, Ishtar's little Scooty Puff Jr. ship, and just, like, chatting. The master reveals they can make curry, feed everybody. Mm-hmm. Space Ishtar has this whole thing where she thinks being a master is useless, and then you use a command seal, and she's saying like, "Oh my god, this is great." It's got the loving feel of a good space western.
Honestly, like, I think if I remember correctly, Saber Wars 2 actually did rank pretty high on things that people want to see animated. And I can understand now, actually reading it, like, God, this would be a great kind of like episodic.
Yeah, you've got all the setup with the different planets. You literally have, like I said, cutaway gags, which work perfectly in a visual medium. I would love to see, like, Space Ishtar and Ashtarte fight right when they meet. Like, Ashtarte teleports to you, and they have a freaking katana duel in the school.
All that good stuff.
Yes. Oh, and there are plenty of self-referential gags. I already mentioned earlier the thing where like Ishtar says something about blah 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 10 years ago, and you're like, hold on a minute, how old are you? Because it is explicitly called out that Space Ishtar and Ashtarte look younger than normal Ishtar.
Yes.
So she's like, as the master, you're like, how old are you? And she's like, oh, don't be silly, I'm 14. Servants stop aging in their prime, and 14 is when I ran away from home to go become a space bounty hunter, so clearly that's how old I am. And I'm like, didn't you just say that was 10 years ago? Doesn't that mean you're 24? I also talked about it earlier. When we see her at 14 in a flashback in her dad's space videos he leaves for us, his exposition tapes, his Mass Effect Codex entries, I love them. She looks different.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a funny gag where they're like, some servants are younger than they appear, but also not really. So I think it's pretty good. I'm interested to get some deeper cuts and kind of get into the mythology. That is another good thing they do, is they kind of build this mythology of like the origin universe and the Shining Blue universe and the goddess of all space and whatever.
Yeah, no, it's great. Like, it's a lot of lore building for something that was pretty much just what do I want to call it?
The Servant universe was definitely originally just a gag. It was because it was tied to MHX's original appearance, which was a classic Type Moon April Fool's joke. So they've gone very deep on this. X again references Chief Red, who cooks.
What do we always say here? Jokes are deepest lore? Yep.
Yep, jokes are deepest lore. It could be that Space Star doesn't want to think of herself as 25, yeah. But also, if servant ages do lock in, though, again, don't know how literal that is, because remember, there's that whole thing with X and then Double X, who is older and more mature. Even though regular X plays that role in this as well. She's kind of like the experienced, because she's already done her adventure, you know?
Wait, no, I got it. It's basically when they change their fucking, their spirit origin. They might change their appearance.
That makes sense if they change their class.
Yeah. Because, 14-year-old Ren looking small was probably, still, Archer Ren. And then she's like, no, I must go avenge my father. Class change to Avenger! Level up.
I do like that they use some of her later ascensions, so she looks more spacey, by the way. But right now, MHX is still her assassin self, her expert at killing sabers. And then later as a space cop, she's a foreigner, and so she's, changed her appearance slightly. Mm-hmm. We also don't know how Mysterious Idol X works into this as well. Mm. So we don't. I don't know if the Idol event will have more Servant Universe lore, or if it's just haha funny joke. Funny joke. Sure. I can reference Joke Yoda right now. I guess. We're talking about Star Wars parody, but So I like the event a lot. I'm curious to see how it ends up. Some of the mechanics are a little like the constantly farming Ultrium is a little annoying. You do at least get good drops when you farm, but it's like you need it to progress the event, and then you need it to do those bonus wanted quests, which also are needed to progress the event because they do the goddess drops. So it's like, okay, we're a little double dipping.
I think the Ultrium is my only complaint about the farming. Because like I said, I haven't really been doing any hard grinding. I'm already up to 70 something missions. I'm just
I've cleared all the missions about acquiring 200 or 400 saber badges. So the currency drops are good. Mm-hmm. It's the Ultrium stuff that's a little more limited. I do like that this is a bonus damage event. I can set up the CEs and stuff, because it makes a lot of those chunky fights pretty easy. Otherwise, they'd be a big pain in the butt.
Big butt.
Because some of these enemies are pretty chunky.
Oh, yeah.
But also, I went out of my way to get my Space Ishtar's battery skill to 10, and now she's level 90, so it's pretty easy to cruise control. God, shout out to Space Ishtar on switching her NP damage type, by the way. Usually I leave it at arts, but sometimes it'll be like, oh, hey, my regular Ishtar and my support regular Ishtar both have NPs up, so what if we just did a Buster Chain? Bye!
Explosion!
Yeah. It's
I do love, I do like Space Ishtar's NP, though, too. It's super cool.
That's pretty fun, especially because she has different lines. Like, in her final ascension, she's like, oh, you think I'm the devil? Ha ha ha, you're right. Super ultimate goddess beam. I will say, I feel I'm kind of torn, because, I like, regular, Ascension 2 Space Ishtar's delivery. Her final ascension, which was called Ashtoreth in the original, but I think she calls herself just Astarte in this, so I don't know if she's, true Astarte origin, super mega ultra pink Astarte, Rosé. She uses kind of an even, softer and more ethereal tone of voice.
Oh, I like it.
Oh, I think it fits her character, and I'm like, but I like kind of it as enthusiasm, as bounty hunter Space Ishtar shooting laser guns and stuff, doing heel kicks.
I think the last emotion that kills me, especially when you get a Bond. I think it's one of the greatest Bond lines. Her Bond line 5. She's like, hey, "I like you," and then she'll either have a response which seems like either the other Ishtars are speaking, she'll freak out and be like, "No, you didn't hear that," or "Yeah, that's right, I fucking said it. What you gonna do about it, nerd?" So I was like, "Oh god, no."
Yeah, I need to check those out. Did I get mine to Bond? Space Ishtar is a little bit of a hump in Bond, by the way. It takes a little bit to get that first one. I think my Calamity Jane was Bond 4 or 5 by the time I got to Bond 1 with Space Ishtar. It was a little bit of juice there. Well, also Rin is so I believe it's pretty common for both of her modes are very, very, very switchy. Well, I've already talked about. I talked about it in my Wanted, which you should check out. I thought it did okay, but it's still a little sluggish. I really don't know how much is that thing where apparently YouTube doesn't like if you do videos that have 2 different lengths. They might need to break out a second channel for short form content, quote unquote. Yes, 20 minutes is short form for us, I guess. But you should go check it out if you haven't. But I delve into this a little. As a servant, Space Ishtar is probably an Avenger because of that whole, demonization thing. Where the Hebrew Bible takes her name and uses it to refer to a plural, not a singular, heathen goddesses who are not to be respected. And then medieval demonologists and Kabbalists associated that with a male demon lord who is bad, Ashtaroth or Astaroth. Yeah. So that's why she's a little annoyed. I said the joke I said in Wanted was just remember, kids, don't degrade your divine spirits to mortals or demons. They don't like it. This is also why one of the Dioscuri is technically an Avenger, because they used to both be full boy gods, and then it got split to demigods, and then now only one of them is a demigod, and the other is full mortal, and he's pissed about it. He's mad. I do also believe, though, that is etymologically true. Like that's a folkloric degradation of like the quality of their character over time, as we decided what tropes we liked better. But yeah, Lucky, any other Saber Wars 2 first impression stuff?
No, I do not.
Okay, well, let's check the mission clock. Oh, okay, hold on. Let's see.
Oh,
catch up? No, okay. It lagged for a second when I clicked over, but Audacity is fine. Okay.
Yay!
We're at almost 3 hours, so I think we'll just keep going and round that up.
Oh,
let's do our favorite segment here. So you didn't get that 5-star in space.
Space.
So let's talk about Calamity Jane. Not a super deep dive, but let's talk about her niche, because she's actually pretty good. I found her pretty usable, both as story support and, other supports. Though she was definitely not, compared to Space Ishtar, that much talked about. So she is an SR Archer who is weighted more on HP than attack. She has quick, arts, buster, pretty typical for archers. She has fairly average hit count, so her NP gain is pretty good, which also is good for an arts servant. And her NP is a single target quick. It gives her sure hit for 1 turn first, and it decreases the enemy's defense and quick resistance for 2 turns based on overcharge, and this also activates first before she deals damage. So it's a pretty robust damage package. Your enemy's defense will be down, their quick resistance will be down, and you have sure hit if they have an evade. So that's pretty good. Very reliable, dropping them with the dead man's hand.
Oh yeah.
Also, I love this animation. Like the bullet with the kiss and then the flipping the cards. It's pretty fun.
I still find it weird that they use Dead Man's Hand, though. Because that was... For those you don't know, the Dead Man's Hand is the pair of eights and the pair of aces that was in her husband's hand. But her husband's hand when he got shot in the back of the head.
I believe it's because there were some folklores that she did it, but she did not do it. It was just some rando.
Yeah, I believe there's stories say that she actually went after the killer then after that, too, at some point.
But Calamity Jane is wrapped up in the mythos of the Dead Man's Hand.
Yeah.
And it's Space Dead Man's Hand, too, so it's not quite the same. It's fun, though. So our first skill is Sabotage B. You've seen some Sabotage before. It's pretty typical. 10% attack down for all enemies for 3 turns, flat. And then, based on your skill level, 9 to 19% crit down for 3 turns. A little weak. Wouldn't be shocked if this got a buff if Jane ever gets a right up in the foreseeable future. But still functional. Second skill decreases charge for all enemies by 1. Is a 10 to 20% attack up for self for 3 turns. And an 80% chance to do the same for allies. And a 10% battery for teams. So a little dense, making it for the fact that her first skill is pretty normal. Also, I realize I'm getting a little soft. I should adjust my microphone position. I was leaning back a little. Normalize.
Normalize.
Also, I don't... Some people have complained about my shifting in the audio space. Guys, I'm using an actual, like, polar microphone, a real microphone on a mic arm. It's not like it's glued to my face, so I have to pay attention to the audio space sometimes. But yeah, so her second skill is very robust. Pretty decent team support stuff. The 10% battery is a little anemic, but it works sometimes. And it has that charge down, which is pretty good. So the final skill is the fucker. Both in terms of me to read and also in terms of actually quiteable effectiveness. So it always is a targetable buff success up 20 to 40%. Then it has several other effects based on how many stars you have. It does not consume stars, you just have to have the stars. So if you have 10 stars, it's a 20 to 40% crit up on the targeted servant. If you have 20, it's a star absorb up. If you have 30, it's 1 turn of evade on that person. 40, pierce invul for 3 turns. 50, 10 to 20% battery. Now, obviously, this is not hard to do with a proper quick setup. We've already talked about, do this the turn after an Atlante, NP. Have Atlante yeet wave 2, and have Jane set up for the big finish in the third wave. But it's just very wordy, obviously, because it's got like 6 different effects that are all procced by different levels. So, it's good, it's just finicky,
More stars, better.
Yes. The more stars you have, the more better it is. I do kind of find it a little annoying that the battery is the last one,
I guess that's true.
Because that's probably the thing you want the most, but that's not a deal breaker. I mean, just...
I don't know. Like, sometimes just having, like, you know, getting more for your crits is good, because if you're popping that skill, you probably have some crit stars to spend somewhere.
Yes, the 10 to 20% stars, which gives the targeted servant star absorb up and crit up, is probably the normal one. The like, evade and the pierce invul and the battery are all, like, you know, extra big English. You should not be counting on them because it requires a lot of setup to do. You need to generate 50 stars. It's not hard, but you need to be doing something specific.
Yeah, I know, but like I said, it lets Jane slot real easy into crit comps.
Yes. And, I mean, she's quick-based, so you'll be using her with quick servants. Like I said, not hard. Jack makes that number of stars easy if she drops an NP. She has quite a few passives. She has magic resistance C, writing A, even more quick damage, presence concealment C, and independent action A. So this doubles down on her star gen crit strategy. So yeah, honestly, she is a decent star generator, and she is a good at crits.
Yeah, honestly, she probably goes pretty well too with anyone who has like self modification, like Shelter or BDB.
Because like obviously at 20% or 20 stars, she gives star absorb up herself on a targetable. But if anybody has their own, you know, star up, it also works really well. Just have her generate stars and suck them up.
Slurpity slurp.
Billy's a pretty good star generator. There's a few like this. Like I said, Adelante's an obvious one because she's got like an AoE quick buff, and her NP is AoE and also generates lots of stars. It's well known for this. But you have a few different units you could pair her with. I think I talked about this. Like, some people have kind of criticized back in the day, you know, Calamity Jane's design is kind of simplistic. She was, like, data mined for a long time, and her art is, like, her Ascension art is kind of simple, you know, going through the different tiers. But honestly, like, even if they had that art, like, in the hopper for a while, this servant design is not old school. Have you read that third skill? So, it's kind of interesting to see, like, how this servant was probably, like, in dev for a very long time, but she has arrived in a pretty advanced state that does a lot of different things, and slots right into, arguably, the modern metagame.
I believe it's like...
I don't think she can Scotty loop, because I think it's only, like, 5-hit single target, but, like, you won't go amiss trying to use her with a Scotty to kill bosses.
No, it's probably not the fact that they probably kept updating her skills as they were waiting for, like... the thing, like, I don't know, like, how far they get in their designs and programming and what.
Maybe they just had the art and they didn't know what to do until they did it.
Yeah. So, who knows? But like I said, like, again, like, I wasn't sure, when I first, like, saw her, I wasn't sure what to think about this space cheerleader. Like I said, Calamity Jane, you know, Old American West, figure, did a lot of stuff. Like, her, referencing her, how she doesn't like swimming, that's because she literally, when she was working as a scout in the frontier woman, literally swam up a fucking river to deliver, dispatches. It was kind of fucking nuts. She's kind of fucking nuts.
Yeah. Like, she was called Calamity Jane because she had, like, some bad luck in real life, but also, no, had a very long and storied career as a military scout, frontierswoman, professional gambler. You know, responsible for a lot of Boomtown stuff, the old Tombstone thing.
The prostitute.
Yeah.
Let's see here. She actually did a fuck ton of jobs.
Married Bill Hitchcock, which is why he got killed. Well, not why he got killed, but also why he's involved with the being killed thing.
Yeah. She did a bunch of odd jobs, like she drove teams, sharpshooting, all these other kind of things. Yeah, but no, she's like super story, but so I was like, she's a space cheerleader now, so I was a little confused, but she's grown on me.
Also, at least in this case, when you understand the context, it makes sense because they're like, no, this is literally a different universe. Like, this is the whole servant universe thing. And who knows, maybe they've started her out as an OG, like maybe for America or something, before they realized, this doesn't work, you know, we'll rework this. And then it comes back and they're like, what about if in space?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got all these different flexible strategies.
But yeah, that's Calamity Jane, y'all.
Yeah. Don't sleep on her.
No, she's good.
I have to double check what my, you know, crazy single target arts setup is like. I think she slots in decently to some of my teams. I do have an Adelante who's got a couple of NP levels, you know?
Excuse me.
Alright, Lucky's yawning, I'm yawning. We're getting pretty close to the 3-hour mark. We're at like 2 hours, 59 minutes, and some number of seconds.
Some number.
So we'll start to do the old windify. So, obviously next time, let's see, there's 9 days left in the event, so by 7 days we'll probably finish the story. We'll do final thoughts on the story, recap with you, talk about the stuff as we like to do, and as I know you guys like to hear, so that'll probably be a big old long one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there'll be a secret Halloween Banner 3, but goodness knows at this point. I'm more interested to see if we get any hints for those, like, high-hitting story-locked events in November and December so far.
That'd be nice.
Be interesting to see if we get that lead up. Probably not, because, this event doesn't end until, a few days into November, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll be a little under a week out. Obviously, we do have, since somebody brought it, we will have a maintenance on the 27th, so that'll be interesting to see if that's, tied to anything, or that's just a preload of some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know exactly what we got going on planned for November. Obviously, you have to worry about Thanksgiving, and technically, I think to make room for Lost Belt 5 Part 1, they should start Christmas early. I think that is an intentional design choice. So we'll have to see how that shakes out. And yeah, so we'll keep you apprised of all that fun stuff. Next week also, we will have results of Patreon poll. I'll be able to string together Teach Me and Fanservant.
Yeah.
Fanservant will actually be pretty relevant, considering that Foreigner was just the Halloween servant, and we're going to do another one of my fan designs. Though a slightly different one.
Slightly different.
And, as usual, any news comes our way, a mailbag, all that fun stuff will keep you apprised. I did see some people circulating some announcements of the Solomon movie in theaters, but I think it was in foreign markets.
Yeah, no, it was, I believe it was one of the Asian markets. I don't think it was China, but it might have been some of the Pacific Islands.
Yeah, so no additional news on that front, but yes, it is still, they are moving forward to distributing that film. We'll have to see where our own news shakes out eventually.
Someone says they think it was Singapore, and it sounds about right.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, during JP, Christmas started on Thanksgiving. That's probably not going to fly for us, because that's one of the few times where they get to do special stuff for NA and string together some things. We'll see, though. Usually we get a nice little infusion, nice little bonus. I don't even know what the rest of the month of November... What's in the front half of November, guys? Do you remember off the top of your heads? It's not a big deal if you don't, but I don't think it's important.
Didn't we have our thing? No, we didn't. We had
Battle in New York, and we're in basically Halloween now. Oh yeah, Saber Wars was way later. Gosh, I don't know what we're gonna do.
They could just move. They could just move fucking Christmas all the way up.
I mean, it's seasonal. I don't remember how directly Christmas related it is. I think it's a little Christmas related because she's still Santa Nightingale, but she is delivering syringes instead of candy. So who the frick knows?
Like I said, because Lost Belt.
Lost Belt 5 is gonna be chunky, guys.
Yeah.
Gird your loins. I've heard that the both parts of Lost Belt 5 are some of the most difficult content in FGO. They're spicy. They're big boy. We got some stuff to do. Also, as usual, they may or may not be emotionally destructive, but that's just always the risk. That's always the coin flip we take with FGO. Okay, so whatever the equivalent of 18 million downloads is, and hunting quests. Okay, get some free farming and get my levels up. Work on the shapes, the trim. Got a couple servants who I think could use some level polishing still.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, even if I get excess EXPs, I do want to give Space Ishtar those grails. I just a shitload of EXPs for that. Oh my god. Level 100, why are you so painful?
I have to consider my grails more strongly now that we have, level 120s to think about in the far future.
Yeah, that's going to be a whole nother bag of dicks. Don't worry,
Viable
guys,
grails
gummy
win.
Dicks. They're not gross. What was that about grails, Lucky?
No, when can I just buy grails?
With your credit card, or...
I mean, I might. I might. Yes, let me just convert this digital currency into magical currency. Yes, I'll fill up the grail with my soul's fire.
Who the heck knows what we'll do about that? Yeah, there was that Babylonian anime tie-in, because that was 2 years ago, geez. Maybe it'll be for the Camelot movie streaming or something.
I'm about to say, yeah.
The Blu-ray will be the next month, because I believe that's early December, but maybe they'll stream it a month early or something. Who knows? But okay, we'll hit you all up with that, obviously, if we get any news next week. Like I said, that should be time for our monthly polls as well. So it'll be fine if we don't have a heck of a lot of news. We'll do some good old, fluff and stuff, mailbag, etc. Make sure to tune into What's Up, obviously. We plug this, I think every week, but, it's... If this is public on YouTube, it should be live later. So go ahead and check it out. It's a great time. You get more of us talking about stuff, You like when we get into the weeds on Let's Talk FGO? That's basically all What's Up is. It's nothing but weeds. Sometimes it's so weedy we get lost in the weeds of the weeds, and we forget stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that should be a fun time next time. I roll my shoulders and stretch my bones. I think it is time for the outro. So Lucky can rest his poor bones.
I don't have bones.
His brain bone. Brain bone connected to the bone. Hey, it's Halloween. I can be a little non sequitur. I can be a little weird.
Be weird.
A little gross. A little candy.
Lucky
anyway, it's time to do the outro. Right. The show is lost in the spook grapes. We need to get the fuck out of here.
Spook grapes.
Ghosty grapes.
I like Spooktacular better.
Let's do the outro. When we wind the show down, it sounds a little something like this. I would remind you to please like this video if you liked it on YouTube. Or give it a dislike. That's apparently cool. I don't know. I don't actually know if being ratioed does anything to us. You can give it a dislike. I don't know, whatever. Does YouTube care? I don't actually know. Anyway, give us a like or a dislike if you feel like it. Feed that algorithm. Let it know you like this stuff. If you have any comments, leave in the comment section down below. Or, of course, hit us up on our Discord. Link is always in the video description and on our channel page. We have stickers. Come join us.
We have a sticker.
Okay, we have one sticker with an option for more stickers later.
Yes.
So, check that out. If you're new here and haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. After releasing Wanted, our subs really stabilized there.
Yay!
So, if you're new here, sub more. Watch Wanted more. It's a pretty strong catalyst by most people's reckonings, if you're perhaps waiting for like a payday or something.
I found it hilarious. I saw a lot of the posts, and you just see in the corner the YouTube video playing. I'm like, yes, they used it as a catalyst, and it worked!
Yep. Big thumbs up.
Big thumbs up.
It's a pretty well-established tradition around here. I'm kind of surprised we don't get more views that way, but like I said, I don't know if YouTube, serves the videos weird, because they're only 20 minutes as opposed to this 3-hour monstrosity.
Monstrosity of love and care.
Even if you're already subscribed, make sure to ring that bell for notifications so you always know when we post a new video or when we stream, such as if Omega has to release an Wanted at the middle of the night when maintenance starts, or when What's Up goes live, when we have to stream Kina on an off day because OBS would not let me stream the last 2 hours of that game on the actual night. Whatever,
yes.
Whatever's going on. And, of course, though, you can consider supporting us through channel memberships. We talked about that whole thing earlier. Emotes, membership badges, it's cool. But, of course, you can also support us on Patreon, like we said at the front of the show. Consider supporting us there. You can get access to the audio of these episodes for as little as $1 a month, or roughly $10 a year. And yes, we offer both monthly and annual memberships. Higher levels, you can control topic polls, listen to the show live, get on air shoutouts, all kinds of good stuff, and it really helps us out and supports us in our Weird Boy projects that we do. And that's the whole thing. So I think with that, the show is over.
It is over. Thank you, everyone. Good night. Lucky is he gonna go become goo on his bed now.
In space.